Look, Droob, I am totally not doing shit last minute. I don't know what you're talking about. Ugh.
Like, not at all.
Let's see.
Quality content.
That killed my ears. Don't know if it killed yours. Probably.
Bitch! Endless trash!
Goose streams just run louder than my own damn voice, I guess. I don't know. Let's get a couple more things set up.
No, I'm not, What are you talking about, dude?
I'm not setting up some stuff behind scenes. Look, guys. I worked really, really hard. As you can see, just above the chat on this screen, there's this little, what do they call it? Widget? And, it shows what is currently live on this thing called Rain Wave. It's like a radio. I don't know how it works, but it's pretty cool, right? It is a big positive change to the stream, and holy shit, this joke's been going on too long. I'm making myself cringe. Alright. There we go. Let me check something. What the heck? Okay, that represents my scene changes. Does this work? Okay, well it does, but where's the 6-star icon, Droob? But today only! We're gonna get 6-star Hogans! Well, and tomorrow. Lucky for you guys, Phil is going to stretch this bullshit out for 2 streams. So that's 2 days worth of the most premium Hogans. I may need to update some stuff on this layout. Just a little bit. If I could, maybe, yes, please, Stream Elements? Hello? God. Nope. No, it really don't want to, for absolutely no reason. So we'll put that there, I guess. How do the primed minis look? Oh, they are very dark. The blackest minis, the devil's minis. Oh yeah, the humble one. Well, I mean, I don't know what to say. Good job though. Must be hell having to paint them by hand. I don't know, man. Why am I not able? But yes. Kudos. I'm just, like, all over the place tonight. I'm really sorry. There's a reason I'm here super duper early anyways. Fuck's sake. I just want the call to action. Okay. I guess we can keep it like that. Who cares, right? Only took from midnight to 2. Oh god. Yeah, we need the spray cans. Like, badly. Alright, so let me just finish up with one more thing. Whoops. Yeah, I think we can... Anyways, should be the usual rates. Hold up. Is Hogan... Oh, it's not every 25 minutes. Jesus. Okay. It's still the normal time. I was about to scam you guys. No, that's for the 3-star. We're talking about the 6-star right now. And we are doing... That was for, like, some really special marathon. This is not that exciting marathon. Let's see, 1651 should be the normal. Let me double check that. Yes, it's still 1651. Alright, cool, cool. There is no misunderstanding, right? Cena is normal. Cena's not special for today. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe I could flip it by using the X button. Alright, well, Welcome to,
Political intent.
I was kind of in a scramble to get everything thrown together for this extremely stupid pre-stream segment. And I still am, right to the last minute. I am emulating Dave a little too well today. Let's see. So we got... Oh, the most important thing is Cloudbot awake today. Probably should have started with that. Okay, cool. Thank you for clocking in tonight, Streamlabs. I know that we are doing overtime. It's a very late stream. So, the cringe I'm gonna do tonight, before Phil goes live. I've got him in the corner. He is muted in a tab, so there we go. He will not audio bomb us. That's the good news. But for absolutely no reason, I got compelled to make my own list of best and worst games. But I'm gonna try to do it all in one tier maker instead of whatever the hell Phil's doing, which, in case you missed it, tonight is only the worst games that he's talking about. The good games and the viewer audited ones, as I like to call it, those are tomorrow night for some reason, so we might get a healthy dose of Q&A. So that's gonna be really great. I don't think Shadow's clocked in either. Stupid gimmicks. Big ups. Victorino. Zal. Yes. Hello, everybody. Hello, Lunar. Victorinox. Ooh, excuse me. I saw you. I was like, is it silent? Let's see.
Speakers.
Prepare yourself.
Alright, cool. That stupid gimmick's working now. Anyways, yeah, I guess the only other development behind the scenes, because effectively, if I wasn't streaming, it was Goose's day off forever, right? Bell may or may not have dragged me into, starting some Warhammer painting. So I'm trying to get some basics down, both painting and, lore. No matter what, I know aesthetically I like Tyranids, which is really not a shock if you know the bullshit I like to play. Let's see. Hang on. We gotta be professional. We can't capture the cursor. There we go. It's a very professional now. So because I'm too lazy to make a tier maker account, I've built this in my Photoshop equivalent, Affinity. When am I painting my minis? Great question. I have way too much streaming to do this week. And I don't feel like I should, offset that work onto you. I think that's about the only exciting thing. I guess we can get into the prestigious next segment. Let me know if the background music's too loud. Like I said, for some reason my audio mixing is absolutely garbage on Goose channel. Yes, bottom left will be the credit to whatever Rainwave feels like playing. I made that radio... It's basically a radio station joke earlier, but that's the fastest way to explain it. I hope so. There was one, I think my last, the marathon restream, or the one before that, the audio, Night Ride was just competing with everything. Anyways, I am rambling way too much. I've got a whole 45 minutes to get through all these games I'm gonna ramble about. It's just gonna be me ranking if I liked it. Oh, hold up. Where is... You don't have to prime them. It's fine. Isn't that kind of part of the experience? Alright, so real quick, horrible shameful plug segment. I have a really stupid blog that I write just for shits and giggles. I keep finding typos after I've posted shit, which really infuriates me, so, you know, it's very chill and interactive. You can read bullshit that I write about. So, some of the stuff I'm going to be talking about, I have written a stupid article about, so I'll probably have more to talk about. And just in general, I attempted to prepare myself with notes, and I have a lot of them, but at some point, I'm gonna run out. And here's hoping I can wing it. I don't know.
I'm nervous, guys. I don't do this live. I write it on a blog article for a reason.
So yeah. Anyways, I brought up my blog because I have a really, I'm such a special snowflake, and I have a robust, unique way of ranking things, and it's basically this, what you're seeing on the screen here. There we go. It's instead of doing letters or a number, I just assign an emotion to it, but that's really fucking cringe or being out of context on the Goose stream, so I actually gave them a letter. But I know what they represent. Like, for instance, C is just meh. D is thumbs down. So I'm just shamefully recycling the icons I use. On my stupid blog. I will also have these little icons that show up on each game that I'm gonna put in this list by if, you know, I completed it, first impressions, which is extremely wishy-washy what that means. You'll hear me be like, well, I didn't play hard mode here. But then I'll have another game that's like, I don't feel like playing hard mode, so it's completed. So it's bullshit. It's, you know, bear with me. And then rage quit. Even if it's a board quit, I'll call it a rage quit. Shouldn't have played even at gunpoint. That would be the trash rank. I don't even know if something's gonna end up being trash. If you play a game in this category, you will become skeletonized. You know? I actually don't know if I have anything that I'm gonna rank that low or not. Some of this is on the fly, some of it's not. I don't fucking know. Alright. With the absolute longest pre-stream ever out of the way, I still have to stall because there's something related to games I played and shit. There is an update on my opinions that I need to give. And it's very important because Ludwig remembers this opinion, and I want him to know. Clip this, Ludwig. Ooh. Terrible segue. You may or may not have heard me have a really bizarre opinion on classic Sonic, and I just, you know, while we're here talking about video games, why don't I just bring it up? I had a really stupid take that Sonic 1 was better than 2 on, like, a gameplay perspective. Maybe not so much visuals. But, I thought it was because the spin dash was, like, fucked over the level design. And, like, you know, was just kind of the downfall of Sonic. Just spin dash bad. Spin dash ruined everything I thought. And then I got to watch one of my favorite Twitch streamers go and play this game for the first time, even though he plays like a lot of old games. And having that extra perspective made me realize, no, the level design's always been shit. The spin dash was created as a band-aid to a problem that always existed. So fret not, dear viewers. Sonic 1 is not better than 2, after all. Because they're all ass. Hooray! Franchise was always bad. So, I tried to, like, think to myself, well, if I think the level design is ass, like, what do I think would be a good answer to that? It's a little weird how much I should show you my collection. This was just one of my childhood favorites, man, and just, it is what it is. If it was a mistake. Complicated, yeah. As in, I have to own physical merch for no reason. Okay, so I tried to think to myself, okay, well, what do I think could make the stupid level design better? And I don't know if this is equally cringe. I don't know. My Twitch audience agreed with me, but Pizza Tower is the answer. Cause for me, it's like, it's about momentum and like how you interact and chill with the level design. This is already falling apart, man. I fucking hate doing this live. But anyways, let's see, where is it? Okay, so I talked about the Band-Aid thing, okay. But it just has to do with, like, movement, and, God, I wrote notes and I still don't know what to do. Yeah, I'm not playing Lethal Company, no. I am a, I forge my own path, and this segment really... Goose is secretly an avian. It gets 3. I'm getting distracted. But, oh shit, that's right. I'm supposed to be playing... So, forgive my laziness, but we're gonna have trailers in the corner. Hope you enjoy. It's better than literally nothing. But it's kind of difficult for me to explain this stuff because it's like, it's the feel of the game. And, I just feel... like, Pizza Tower's got that gotta go fast kind of feeling, but it's not absolute, like, dog shit level design. It better complements. I don't know. Does that make sense? This is what I write for a blog, man. This is...
Emergency! Code! Disaster!
But anyways, I really love the fluid movement and animations of Pizza Tower. And, you know, his little dash attack, as I mentioned, it just feels good. It's better than Sonic Spin Dash. That's all I've been saying 30 times over. And it's also kind of got that thing where, you know, like when you're a noob at, like, Sonic and like this game too, you're, like, crashing everywhere as a noob all the damn time. But it's, like, really satisfying as you start to get better. So, like, it has that. It has that. But it's also got, like, collectibles and shit. I like how the short levels are, like, extended by paths will close or open during pizza time. You gotta run backwards. I don't know if the trailer's showing the little timer at the bottom. That's kind of cool. God. Sorry, I'm having an existential crisis. This was a terrible idea. So, I also like... I do like that there's the collectible aspect to it, and not just making your score higher. Though you can do a score attack, and maybe sometime in the future I will try to do S rank? Not P rank. No thanks. I'd like to live. So yeah, that's cool. I am almost done with it, actually. I should put, for clarification purposes, I still need to finish, like, the final world, but I've gotten all the collectibles and all the previous ones. It's definitely gonna be done soon. So, let's see. I like that the, secret levels will, like, showcase, like, there's more depth to the power-ups and the platforming, but I do wish there was more of it in the normal parts of the game. That's a bit unfortunate, that it's just kind of like, oh, this is a cool thing, and it's gone. So... let's see, I didn't bring up Wario World at all. I vaguely remember playing one on Boy, but I was like a kid, and I didn't know what I was doing. So I have to take my Twitch audience's word that, Pizza Tower is faster. It's good fast. So... ranking it, though, I've been kind of on the fence, like, for some reason, like, what I should do. But, like, if somebody were to come to me and ask, like, you know, I've been thinking I'd put it as an A rank, but then I thought for a while, like, if someone came to me and they're like, yo, bro, I want to try out some platformers today. What would you recommend? Pizza Tower would definitely be up there. So, I think I'm gonna make Pizza Tower S rank. There we go. Jesus, that only took me how long to get through this first one? But there we go. This is my beautiful editing here at work. What do we got? What do we got next? We got Hi-Fi Rush next, which was like Pizza Tower was at the end of the year, but it was kind of relevant to horribly segueing from that stupid Sonic update. So anyways, now I'm gonna try to do things in chronological order for the most part. So I've got a hi-fi review on my blog. I'll just kind of summarize it. Hang in there, Koraz. I'll be screaming at Phil very soon. Hello. Oh, I should also note, I know I'm gonna, like, there's so many games for me to go through. I will continue this tomorrow. Like, I'll start an hour before Phil. But anyways, the more I ramble, the less we'll get done. So, with Hi-Fi Rush, its music theme is perfectly implemented, and I was, like, nervous at first because it's rhythm-based, and it's like, I'm kind of with rhythm games, but there are plenty of visual and audio cues, like, help you get into the game, and even to the point where if you're just having issues, and the game can kind of assist you and just auto-time those combos. You could play it more like a traditional DMC that way. There's lots of options and lots of cues to help you get into it or just enjoy the game, and I think that's really, really cool. Combat's super polished. And I made sure to play on hard, which I highly recommend, because otherwise the game's too easy. So let's see, playing as Chai, the only weapon you get is a guitar. Like, you don't get to, like, swap weapons like Dante or anything, but you get more combos, on that guitar, as well as tagging in allies. You get, like, 3 of them throughout the story. Unfortunately, though, it's because of the allies that actually knocked this game down a rank for me, and why I'm not going to bother doing a second run. So that's why there's the first impressions in the top right, is that I know that, like, a stylish brawler, you really want to replay it at least once, because, like, you've unlocked everything. You know, it's kind of a disservice if you only do one run, but there's just a huge aspect of this game that prevents me from wanting to come back to it with the allies, and that is, to put it short, enemies are color-coded. Like, for instance, enemies can have Z-shields, they're called, and Macaron is the only one who can break them. Otherwise, Chai just bounces off of them. And, I've played the definitive edition of the DMC reboot, not yet the vanilla, but I have, when I was doing my crash course, I was told just, like, no, really, the color coding was ass in that game, so it's just, like, that's, like, the biggest sin this game does. And even on my cringe blog, I actually put, like, a side-by-side comparison of what DMC 5 does better, like, is doing what it's doing right compared to what Hi-Fi is doing. And, like, a really quick example would just be, you have the floating goat enemies, the Bahamets. They'll generate shields in DMC 5. They'll generate shields around everybody in the room, but if you kill Bahamut, you fix the problem. But in Hi-Fi Rush, they also, like, enemies can also have shields, but Peppermint's, like, the only one who can efficiently take care of them. It's really obnoxious, and it's a real shame, because, like, by the late game bosses, with all their, like, color-coded bullshit they were doing, I just started spamming all, like, you have all 3 allies unlocked at all times, so you can just literally, like, swipe through them and just, like, quickly tap them in. They'll do, like, their basic bitch attack and they'll leave, and it's like, you just keep doing that because fuck you, I can't touch the enemy. So yeah, it's just like, that's a real damn shame, because, like, it's aesthetic, the musical aspect, you know, there's so much that's high quality about Hi-Fi, but it's just like, I had fun, but I'm not replaying it, and that's unfortunate. Still gets a thumbs up, though. That's a B rank. You know, would not mind a sequel if it addresses those problems. What do we got next? We got... Oh, whoops. I'm still trying to coordinate all this shit. We got... Yeah! We got Returnal, man. I didn't have a PS5, really, until recently, so... Oh, well, yes, okay. Peppermint is definitely premium waifu material. I did forget to have that side tangent. I didn't activate hard mode right away, which is unfortunate, because if I had, and I cleared 2 more missions, I would have gotten her punk GF outfit, and that would have been perfect. Oh well. Did I have notes for Returnal? Okay, on PS5, by the way. I'm really, really bad at roguelikes, but for some reason I really love them. And just... Man, like... Returnal's just really good. This one's really hard for me to explain, like, my stance. I still need to defeat Nemesis. Nemesis says hi. But, like, what I have played, I've been really, really enjoying. In my opinion, it's not worth buying this, like, a PS5 just for this game, but that opinion is outdated anyways, because it's on PC. Like, I can't... For the longest time, I had the joke that the PS5 was the Returnal machine, because there was, like, nothing else I wanted to play on it. So yeah. The shooting elements are super solid. The aim assist is extremely snappy, which that's nice for me. I kind of needed it. My hands are potatoes. But it's just the right amount of aggressive, like just how it feels like a lock-on with it, like when it's set to default. Using your melee attacks is important to the combat loop, and like it encourages aggression instead of camping. Because if you try to just do long-ranged combat, you're gonna realize your DPS is kind of shitty. So that's kind of cool. Like I'm cool with that. I'm a sucker for metaphor-heavy sci-fi, so like this game is nice and pretentious, just how I like it. Unfortunately, I have spoiled the story, like its themes and stuff, just because I wasn't expecting to get a PS5 in a million years. But knowing what all the symbolism is ahead of time, I get to kind of go through it, and I'm like, oh shit, that's cool, that's, yeah, the astronaut showing up here, and, you know, that kind of thing. It's kind of like when you know the twist to Fifth Element, and you rewatch it, and you see things you hadn't seen before, you know? Yay! I just, for transparency purposes, I wanted to let you know. I feel like, I do need a little more time with this game before I definitively say that it's S tier. There's a part of me that wants to say S tier, but at the same time it's like, I don't know. I'm also not good at roguelikes, you know, I do have a bias towards particular builds, and it's like, I don't know if it's because of the game itself, like if it's a balancing issue with the game, or if it's a skill issue for me. So, for now, I cannot get my layers to work right. I'm gonna put Returnal in A tier for now. Man, these boxes are all over the place. Can I get this to, like, snap, please? Go ahead and do that in this. You know what? It doesn't matter. Let's...
Quality content.
Let's see. I have accidentally moved everything. What's next? This one's a very short one. I sampled Cooking Mama Cookstar early in the year. Last year. Cooking Mama is just plain fun. I highly recommend the DS games. And, like, if you like Cooking Mama, you might like this one. By the way, this is the Cookie Mama that was jokingly accused of crypto mining. And it does make the Switch fans scream, practically. But the game otherwise runs fine. But your Switch is going to be a bit toasty. Oh, I put here, I gotta explain what Cooking Mama is. For those who are unaware, Cooking Mama is a bunch of food-themed style micro games to create a delicious dish. Mama is there to help you. And that's about it, really. I mean, you don't need anything else. Now, one thing in my experience with the DS Cooking Mamas, like, I still need to play the original Wii, but based on the DS ones, there is a little bit of jank, and it's like, I think that's on purpose, because, you know, it's a party game, in a way, the Wii version at least, and I think you can do multiplayer on this too. Like, I think it is like a proper party game. I don't know if you could like communicate with DSs for those. I actually don't know. But anyways, I'm not sure of the exact like extent of the control jankiness because I sat kind of close to my Switch when I tested this game, but jank is also kind of the appeal of these games. Cooking Mama, Cookstar. For me, the DS ones are GOAT. Do you want this to be thumbs up or yeah, I think thumbs up from what I've played. It's just a fun game, you know? You need to stir sauce. Thankfully you don't. It is extremely, it takes like 10 seconds to cook those chicken tendies. Yeah, think! WarioWare meets well, you don't roll dice. Although, no, wait, if you were to do multiplayer, you probably could. I don't even think about it. Yeah, this stuff might be randomized. I don't know. You pick a recipe, and you do a bunch of micro games. Yes. Oh god. So the trailer, whatever the hell this trailer constitutes as, it's beautiful. Hopefully it helps. Pokemon Coliseum! That was a random tangent, excuse me. My notes. Help! This is one that I rambled a lot about on my blog, and there's a lot of notes here, so bear with me. Pokemon Coliseum is a diamond in the rough. Not quite how I remember it, but it's still pretty cool. I've always loved the double battle format that was introduced in Gen 3, and it gets a very nice spotlight here because it's the only way you battle. But I like doubles because there's like more team synergy and strats you can build, not to mention that Game Freak continues to like make more, like they design more attacks that are like designed for doubles, even though their games are forced to be like 1v1 in the story. It's really goofy. So it's just like, well, if you're gonna build mechanics around double battles, here's a double battles game. Amazing. Hello, alive and well in Israel. I am glad you're here for the chill support while I am being an absolute babbling idiot today. While we wait on Phil, he has not started the slideshow yet. Let me check this. Good God, I've only gotten through like a few of these. Ugh, I'm verbose and yet I say nothing. But anyways, this is one of the games that people point to when you're hearing like, oh my god, there's soul in the animations and stuff for the Pokemon, and ignore the humans, they're stiff as bricks, but that's okay because what really matters are the Pokemon animations, and Gens 1 and 2 are recycled from Stadium, which is fine. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're pretty good. There's some funny, robust animations there, and then the Gen 3 animations are completely new. So, and they're all very lively, and they're just great. There's a lot of these like stuck in my memory from when I was a kid. There's also the scale factor. Like, Pokemon are actually to scale. in this GameCube game running on the Stadium engine or whatever the hell. That thing that Game Freak fucked up for 3 generations in a row. The scale is very important to that soul factor. Speaking of, what the heck is that one video called? Yeah, the Wailord Tragedy Comedy. Here, let's see if I can get this over. Distant Kingdom made this video. And it's, you know, Wailord's really big. He's really, really fucking big. How big is he? When it feels like it. We gotta do our cool intros. Hey, it's very relevant. But yeah, like Wailord is, like, actually pretty much to scale on this crappy-ass little side game. No? Wowie! It's almost like that's really important. Like, really important. And then, Battle Revolution pretty much reused everything as well. But, then you get, then you get to Gen 8, and, it's the same size as Gyarados. That's cool, bro. This game's great. Why did I buy this game? Look how tiny he is. Anyways, so yeah, like, the scale is actually perfect. Anyways, now listen to me just talk over and over about the character designs. Big ups. Nice, Phil. So I did find most of the battles are easy. Like, opponents don't have fully evolved Pokemon. And this makes the majority of the challenge Tower Mount battle a complete pushover. But I understand that this decision is really good for younger players. Because double battles, especially as the series has progressed, they get chaotic extremely fast. And it doesn't help that they're treated as a secondary gimmick in the main games. So, like, this whole unevolved Pokemon thing provides a margin of error for kids. So, you know, that's cool. The meta does kind of show up a bit when you fight bosses. I still found them manageable, because I'm a very sad little fangirl who has played since Red version, so yeah. There's a good variety of Pokemon you can catch. Very robust. It features a lot of, like, gimmicky or lower tier Pokemon, like Misdreavus or Mantine. Excuse me. And they're mostly balanced with, like, the roster that was picked. And even the legends you get to catch aren't absurdly powerful because it's Suicune, Raikou, and Entei. Legendary cats. They're not dogs. Come on now. Come on. Groudon and Kyogre are not actually catchable in the game, in case you didn't know. So, bit of a scam, bit of a baited switch, I know. Unfortunately, the power creep does still find its way, like, finds its way in by the end of the game. You still will get Pokemon that will help you defeat the final boss. It's just, I'm really annoyed that I had, like, this opportunity to actually use Dunsparce, and it didn't, like, and then he sucks. Like, he really sucks, you know? So, you know, mad 'cause bad, I don't know. Colosseum was also noted, like, noteworthy for its time, for having, like, a really edgy, dark story, you know, dark themes. It's definitely not aged that great. Aesthetically, it's still really cool. It's got this post-apocalyptic feel to it. Everything's kind of rusted or dusty. You even deal with towns with seedy underbellies. Like, it feels a bit more explicit than what Team Rocket... Like, you know, Team Rocket are the bad guys. They're also, you know, seedy secret bases. But for some reason, at least Kid Me felt Colosseum was, like, pushed it even more, you know, man? With a place called literally the Under. Seedy underbelly. this game also suffers from a translation nightmare. I mean, maybe that's exaggerating. I know what was happening in this game, but it was extremely dry and often tone deaf. It is just like the quickest translation job they could do. And that's unfortunate. But you know, what can you do? It is what it is. But yeah, I kind of put here, modern era Pokemon games do cover existential topics better. You know, this was kind of like an early stepping stone, I guess. You know, I still love it. I enjoyed playing it. I do own this game physically. Yes, I had to deal with scalper prices. I think I got mine for like $70. Thankfully, I had some store credit to like lessen that blow. Don't break the bank for a physical copy if you're into physical copies of games. Especially when there's a fan mod, if you emulate it. So, don't sue me, Nintendo. If you make a archival copy, yes. Phil is still not on slideshow mode. Nice. He's 3 minutes late, dude. Oh my god, please. God. Couldn't figure out why couldn't I catch Pokemon at Coliseum. Because you gotta have permission first. You have to go talk to Samus, who will then talk to the higher-ups, and they'll say, yes, we grant you permission to go catch this Pokemon. Yeah. So, Coliseum, not perfect, but I think it's still pretty cool. But, thumbs up for that one. That one's B rank. Good God, I'm taking forever on these. I hope I'm not being completely nonsensical. Oh, Jesus, I don't even have a blog review for Pokemon Scarlet, but I have a little bit I can talk about. So, I only played the vanilla story. Do I even have a trailer? Did I forget to download a trailer? Hang on. No, okay, I have a trailer. Okay, there you go. So I only played the vanilla story, and I did only the first time you reach the Elite Four. You know, like there's post-game stuff, and I rage quit during that. So I did originally want to skip this game, but then my soulmate was like, hey, I want to get Violet, I'm gonna get you Scarlet. I'm like, crap, fine. So for both of us, I would say it was a guilty pleasure for like the week or two we played it. I did enjoy Legends Arceus, so like Scarlet is kind of mimicking stuff that like was in that game that I kind of want in a Pokemon game, but it's still kind of half-baked. Game Freak's old habits, like, still persist. Like, if you know, you know. Just... Please, Game Freak, why? But let's see, I want to stay positive, though. Other stuff I liked. Being able to choose the order to complete the story. You know, for the gym badges and Team Star, their little plot development. When you get new teammates, like, there's ways to mitigate the obnoxious grind. I don't know why there are old Pokemon fans who insist that doing, like, a JRPG tier level of grinding for 6 teammates that, like, you might swap out, like, 20 minutes later, is fun. So, like, I actually don't give a shit about the experience share BS anymore. Where it just gives experience to everybody. It should be, like, you should have the option to toggle it off. But, like, I don't give a shit anymore, man. Fairy type is cringe, ruined the perfectly good meta of Garchomp. Yes, indeed. Yes. I actually quite like fairy type. I do wish they'd have a little bit more, like, intimidating looking Pokemon. Like, it's got a heavy bias towards, like, cute but deadly, which is, you know, also fun, but it's like, I need a little more robust variety. Also, he is finally... How long has he been live? He finally turned the slideshow on. A minute. An actual minute. Great, Phil. Let's see, what else did we do? Once I upgraded Koraidon, I did find just mindlessly wandering the overworld kind of fun. Which isn't really saying much, but hey, I'm trying to be positive right now. I like that you spend a good amount of time with the cover legend of your choice in both Scarlet or Violet, because it is unforgivable what X and Y did to Xerneas and Yveltal. Like, they just exist, you know? I like that they were trying to flesh these guys out more. I do love Koraidon having a dork appeal. He's, like, toothless. Like, he's just such an idiot, and I love him. I just wish they fixed his tail. Because it's really funny that he has, like, he's a fake motorcycle. Like, that is kind of funny, since Scarlet is supposed to be prehistoric, quote-unquote. But yeah, his official design, his tail just, like, wedges straight up his ass, and it looks so awful. And it's like, chameleon tails have, like, offset a little bit before they curl. There's a straight line, and then the curl. Koraidon is just like, yeah, bitch! Wheel! And it's just like, bro, who approved this? Sorry. Did I... Oh, there's my audio mixer. Okay. Okay, sorry. Shit. Okay, so I like the basic idea with the terrestrialization. Like, you can just swap out any Pokemon to any type. Like, switch their typing to any. It's cool on paper. And I pronounce it as Dudunsparce. He's fire. Everybody was throwing a stink, and at first I was kind of like, eh, when Dudunsparce was first announced. But, like, Dunsparce is the perfect Pokemon to get a joke evolution. And, like, people also fail to understand, he's a Tsuchinoko, he is not a dragon. So, like, yeah. How he evolves is, like, perfectly predictable. Could it have been cooler? Absolutely. But it's pretty adorable. Like I said, that's a good one. That's a good one to make a joke evolution. Like, you know, like how Doug Trio is. I just had to have that tangent because I will not let people slander my good boy. So that's enough positivity. The game is still bad. It's better than Sword and Shield, in my opinion. But I do feel it deserved the backlash it got. You know, it's unoptimized, mindless to beat. Free DLC, at least. The dex cut that you have to pay to mostly patch. Like, that's the thing, is that you've got people who are like, dude, if they don't put every Pokemon in the game, that means they can increase quality. And it's like, okay, but how about the fact that you are paying them to put back Pokemon into the Pokedex that used to just be part of a feature-complete game? Like, nobody wants to talk about that for some reason, according to my Twitter algorithm. So, doing anything in the school was ass. I actually felt my cells dividing, dude. Yeah, it's just like, one, don't be a franchise. Like, you know, it's Game Freak's fault for being like, oh, you can catch everything. That's their fault for setting that standard. I don't expect Digimon to have every single Digimon in every game. I expect Pokemon to, because that's what they promised me, man. Just make an MMO, I don't fucking know, man. Yeah, and it's a pay-to-win PvP. Like, I've heard the horrors of Urshifu. and what it's done to the meta. I did not play the Sword and Shield DLC, and I will not be playing the Scarlet and Violet DLC, so, you know, I'm a bit of a hypocrite in one aspect, but I've, you know, dodged a bullet elsewhere, I guess. Terra typing, the whole Terra gimmick, unfortunately, like, it doesn't help the power creep. It's really annoying to, like, swap your Terra type. There's a bunch of grinding. And, like, it makes it really obnoxious if you want to just experiment with your team comp. Which is a nightmare. Fuck the 5-star raids. That's where the rage quit hit. Is because I feel like, Gens 8 and 9, they want to be like a mini MMO so badly. These games had already been out for a while when I started playing. And once I, like, it was the Paradox Suicune, Walking Wake, right? Walking Wake was...
Bangin', brother.
Thanks, Hogan. Was, announced, and I was, like, really excited. I actually think Walking Wake is a fun design. But I had that realization just how much you have to grind if you want to catch up. And if you want the good items to mitigate the grind, you also have to do 4 or 5-star raids. So there's this vicious cycle, and you know what? Fuck it. There were Twitter posts talking about, like, that I saw, because my phone, you know, our phones listen in on ourselves, so the algorithm was like, oh, you wanna read about Scarlet and Violet? I think it was the Mewtwo raid. People just kept mentioning you have to have the Mew that Nintendo was handing out. Like, you need the Mew, or you're not gonna pass the raid. Neither of them are available now, by the way. Just, yeah, it was a free Mew, but you can't get it anymore. And it just reinforces the toxic side of the meta for me. It's just like, yeah, no thanks. Yeah. I think my toxicity is done. Guilty pleasure. But man. Because it's a guilty pleasure, I think that gives it like a D rank. Because I am very passionate about that, about like its bad side. Yeah, it brings out some salt. Yeah, well, yeah, there's also the general problem that the gimmicks, they just get abandoned in between generations. And I agree with, Vel has an opinion that the best way to balance the meta is to allow all gimmicks to go at once, you know? Imagine Mega Evolutions fighting against, Gigantamax, or Z-moves against Gigantamax, and just fuck it. You know what? Why not? Just let everybody have Uzis and rocket launchers. Let's just do it. Why not? Sorry. Well, so technically, if you go to my, Twitch archive channel, I did used to play, Pokemon Showdown. And yes, I would get DSP levels of salty. But unlike DSP, I realized if I'm not happy playing a game competitively, just stop. Whoa! Holy shit, right? I need to catch up with chat real quick. Having a woman geek out about geek shit is great. God bless. God bless. Yeah, no, you're not really missing anything by skipping this game. I would actually recommend Arceus over this one, but very, very buggy, you know. Well, it's not really buggy, it's just jank. It's still a very jank game. Get it on mega sale at most, you know? Oh, that's true. You could technically, yeah, the 3DS was the first 3D under Game Freak. A lot of the Soul Pokemon games, as people call it, that was under Genius Sonority, and then there was someone before Genius who worked on Pokemon Stadium. I think some of the devs from there moved over to Genius. So yeah, that was technically, X and Y was the first Game Freak one. And, yeah, I think Megas were the only good ones, even if they played favorites to sell more toys. I didn't get my Mega Reuniclus! Sounds like Pal. Oh, dude, is Pal World out yet? Vel and I definitely want to play that together. That looks funny. Oh, yeah, so when, right, Phil's still not here yet, so we have time for a short story time. Very early in Vel and I's relationship is when, this is like 10 years ago, I was still kind of into the competitive meta, and like, actually doing the IV breeding and bullshit, and like, Vel got curious, and he was like, okay, yeah, I'll get into Pokemon again, and he's like, hey, what's the deal with, like, Relicanth? He's got an interesting ability, and I'm like, no! Relicanth is, like, never used! Don't do that, he's trash! So, yeah. Goddamn Smogan. Is Rotom Wash safe? I think he is still relevant in the meta. I don't know if he's been in tournaments or not. I'm not keeping track of them as much anymore. Everyone with guns and rockets. Oh, I would... You know what? I would be fine with them going back to 2D. Let me show why. Trailer? I don't want to steal someone's Let's Play. Sure, we'll do that. This aesthetic. This is also a Genius Sonority game, but it's a mobile game, so ignore it. It's terrible. It's a mobile game. Shit, it's at 360p for me. But anyways, the Pokemon in this are just freaking adorable, and yes, Garchomp was in this at one time. But, like, it's just such a charming little style. I would be perfectly fine with an entire, like, national dex done up like this. But no, it's a shitty mobile game instead. You know, that's fine, I guess. Later this month is early access. Man, we gotta paint minis and we gotta play Baldur's Gate, man. Yeah, I agree with you, dude, Messiah, on the whole, like, it just slapped on open world and hoped it would work. And it's like, Arceus, I think, did a little bit better as a proof of concept with going open world, but, like, again, it's not a perfect game by any stretch of the means. What am I painting? I'm trying to get comfortable, because, like, I don't really do traditional paints. So I'm trying to get comfortable for model painting by doing, like, we got, like, some crappy D&D figures. There's, like, some earth elementals. You get 2 for the price of 1. So I'm, like, testing out, like, doing the whole Zenith whatever shading with it. And then I'll upgrade to, like, a bigger D&D monster. And then, there's some people at the hobby shop who will let me, just have some of their spare Tyranids, and I can test a color scheme on them. Like, they're little basic units. Please forgive me, please be patient. I am, very, very new. But it's, yet again, Vel has dragged me into something. First it was Phil, then it was Warframe. Yeah, it's, man, I get the vibe, it's good. Phil is still not here. Who's that? Slash? What's up? Why can't we give Pokemon outfits and accessories? Because 3D model is too difficult, man. Maybe you'll get a Pikachu wearing a hat. You don't want Pikachu? Fucking weirdo. Right? I don't have any photos I can share yet, but it's definitely something I will do in the future. Okay. Bill's still not here. I guess I can squeeze in one more game. Let's see. I hope I got I got this lined up correctly. Yes, we got the Dead Space remake. I really freaking love Dead Space, but I did not finish this game. It's a fantastic facelift of the. Oh, this one's really short. It's a fantastic facelift of the original game. Everyone, including me, was a bit nervous about having Isaac talk in this one when, you know, one of the perks of the first game was that he was a silent protagonist. I didn't mind him talking in 2, but, like, the concerns were fair. And I'm happy to say, he doesn't feel, like, forced or, like, spamming his dialogue. So that's really cool. There's some supplemental, like, some bonus lore that's kind of, like, supplemental and, like, more dialogue. But if you've already played the original first game, if you played the original, you're not missing out. Like, it's fine. I just kind of shelved the game because it's like, hey, it's Dead Space like I remember it a decade ago, and it looks prettier. And, like, you know, that's all I can say. It's fine. It's not a must-have, but it's still pretty solid. Oh yeah, the new Isaac face, though. Yeah, I actually spaced that out. Hey, spaced it out. Oh my god, Phil, are you here? Oh, wait.
This week it's like, that's a lot all at once. I hope I don't screw it up. I'm fairly certain last night I did it correctly. And
Can we watch, what?
Lined up in the
Alive?
order to play here for all of you.
Hey, it's just like me.
We're gonna do it as we've done the last few years. It's a live stream format where basically...
Okay, he's pig-splaining. So to be honest, I'm not sure. So, like, Dead Space is fucking good. Like, the game itself, you know, A rank minimum. But, you know, it's just a remake. Like, in the perspective of a remake, it's just fine. And so it's just like, I don't know if I should put it as a B or an A rank. Maybe an A rank. Would that be kind of weird? Christ, guys, I have so many games. I was not expecting myself to talk for this long. I'm impressed.
Let's see what this is.
Anyways, back to you, Phil. If I could remember how to navigate.
Chandler did a $2 tip. He says, what made you decide to have a disappointing and Game of the Year shows on separate nights as opposed to one big daytime stream? Well, a few reasons. Number one, because if I did a daytime stream away from gameplay, that sets me back on the games I play. Just being honest, you know, for the games, you get more people for the gameplay during day than you'll get. The late streams are always kind of a little...
I don't know if fanfiction is a good idea right now when I still need to, like, commit names to memory.
This is like, oh my god, I'm gonna get 1,000 views.
Let's not go there yet.
You know what I'm saying? This is just something nice I do every year to do a final countdown. People will watch it after the fact. And the other truth of the matter is, I don't even know if a full daytime stream would be enough to do it.
Do I have a...
The disappointing games, the Game of the Year awards, and this year we're also doing the viewer...
There's, like, no point for me having this layout. There's just a black screen in the corner. Like, what do I do?
Series, it's 10 games, but when I start getting to the final games, I'm going to have a good amount of things to say about those games, so maybe it wouldn't even fit in an hour. In addition, keep in mind this is interactive.
Well, my shit didn't fit within an hour. I was surprised.
Be talking and tagging me, and I'm sure there's going to be contributions coming in to shout out, so it's not just me doing, you know, my opinions. There's also going to be, you know, interruptions and things like that.
That's understandable, Slash.
So, that's my thought. Now, they're very...
It's for the best.
We ended
Play
it
it safe.
It's okay. We can just chill for a bit. My goal tonight, just so everybody knows, is to be out of here by 9:15.
Okay.
Reason being, I have to set up both the Viewer's Choice Best Playthroughs of the Year and my Game of the Year awards in OBS tonight.
Sure, I was doing shit last minute tonight, too.
I have to review the results. I don't even know what the results
Getting
are.
the gunpla.
The Viewer's Choice favorite playthroughs of the year. I haven't seen it yet. I really haven't seen it yet. So
Right, Frosty. I'm still not sure if I should have it as an A rank. It's like,
right, and give it some
it's really good, but it's also like, yeah. This is
I don't wanna
good.
be in here till like 10
You know?
at night doing this.
Is it like
I
really good?
For a good amount of time. I think 2 hours is a solid.
So I don't know if I'll end up like
I think
changing that
longer than 2 hours
when I'm
is
back here tomorrow.
Disappointing games countdown, to be honest.
Fuck, I'm not gonna get through this whole list, man.
RAC, how you doing? He says, hope you're nice, doing well, playing Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. Sounds good. DC says, can't wait for...
Because I babbled for too long at the
Sounds
beginning.
good.
I hate...
I look forward to
I did fine in debate class, but whenever I start, I'm a nervous
Overdue,
wreck, man.
saying, hope you're having a good day, looking forward to this. Awesome, good to have you here. Darth Golbach, how you doing tonight? How's it going? I love watching it every year. SD Charger's here tonight. She's playing some Elden Ring, ready for the chill tonight. Awesome, awesome.
I am okay with Dead
Good evening,
Space
everyone
being
just arriving.
buried.
I know that we'll have a few more people.
Let the poor thing
Probably
sleep.
a little bit longer.
It went through a lot.
672, how are you? Gabriel, how are you? Gabriel, how would Horizon Forbidden West be on this list when it came out in 2022?
Oh, dude, I was reviewing...
You're off by a year.
I was ranking games from
We'd have
2004.
to
Who
go back in
cares?
time. Keanu, good evening.
You can't break free.
Okay. What's up, King Lunar? So yeah, if anyone, by the way, this is like a normal stream, so if anyone contributes...
Yeah, like I'm one of those people. Bloodborne, spoiler alerts, Bloodborne's gonna be a S rank for me.
Don't worry, it's
But
because this is
love
a
it.
different stream, it doesn't mean
Wouldn't mind more of them, but if
I'm
it's
ignoring
just
all
a
the
one-off game,
yeah,
it's just a
it's
one-off game.
interactive, where I'll
I'd like it to run better, though.
my entries, my reasoning, and I want to kind of read your rebuttals, or if you agree with me, or whatever you have to say about the games. Game Master, how's it going? He did a super chat. He said, if you're gonna play the new Prince of Persia, Ubisoft Plus members play it 3 days early. I'm not playing it. Did you hear it's like 25 hours long? You heard that? Yeah.
Oh no.
It's a 2D side-scrolling platformer that plays like a more modernized version of the classic Prince of Persia. The classic Prince of Persia is like a few hours long. This game is like 25
I don't know if that's
long.
true or not. I need to do a crash course on Prince of
That
Persia.
I literally have no desire to play it. Do you want
Jesus, Phil, you suck.
25 hours? Even Super
Why
Mario
not?
Super Mario Wonder was 17 hours, right? So it's like, what
God,
was
he
you
hates
thinking with that? I
platformers.
have no idea.
20 hours is a lot of good content. Side-scroller, man.
Thank you, Mr. Game Master, for the super chat. First super chat of the night. No, but if I knew I was gonna play it, if I was gonna do it, I was gonna get Ubisoft Plus and play it that way anyway. I wasn't gonna buy it outright. But with the stuff I'm doing right now, between Baldur's Gate 3, which is taking up a ton of my time, now Resident Evil 0 Remastered, which is now taking up time, continuing with
Why?
Stars, doing my final matches of Street Fighter, and probably just a little bit of Call of Duty thrown in there. I don't know how much time I would have for another full playthrough this month, so I'm pretty much outright skipping it at this point.
Well, that's true. He doesn't want to look... Dude, I play games badly, like, you know, you just gotta eat the dirt.
Ultra Dude says, you think this year will be better for games than last year? Don't know. I don't know. Last year was a good year for games. A lot of people, like, kind of crapped on the games of last year, but they were pretty good. I'm looking at my Game of the Year awards, and I had a tough time narrowing it down, honestly. So. Good evening, Lucky Gremlin. Can we nominate Baldur's Gate 3 for that? For what? For the viewer's choice best playthrough of the year? Yes, it did start last year, and I think it actually is one of the top voted right now. Paseo says, if you want to play the Prince of Persia game, I would play the OG.
I need to
version
play
instead.
Crypto the Necrodancer
Yeah, I
again.
don't know if the new one's good or not. It looks good. Like, the new one, don't get me wrong. It looked good, and I thought, oh, this would be good for, like, maybe an 8-hour quick game this month. And then they were like, yeah, it's 25 hours. I was like, what the hell? What?
I'm not one to talk Darius. I've technically been doing that. I just want to play whatever the fuck I feel like in the moment.
Pizza Tower, yeah, I don't know. We gotta see how much time we have this month. We have to see how much time we have this month. You know, for extra time before the new releases come.
Phil is partially one reason why I
Nice
pushed
stuff.
playing
Maybe
Pizza Tower.
Pizza Tower would be eligible. Adam, how you doing? 7 months as a supporter. He says,
But it was also because Twitch chat was...
good to have you here.
Oh god! Help!
Was it
YouTube Studio loading.
Pointing
There he is.
fairly easy. It was very easy to come up with like 5 or 6 of them. The ones at the bottom of the list were a little bit harder, but I think
Anyways, it was also because it didn't win any awards,
tell you,
and Twitch chat was heartbroken.
because I'll explain this as we start. These are not the worst games of the year. If you want to talk worst games of the year, that would be like
You
God
literally-
or
You literally were talking about how you were narrowing down some trash games, dude. What are you talking about?
Oh, countdown. And I did this kind of countdown before anyone else used to. Remember, this is an annual thing I have done for like 14
And I'm
straight
space
years.
dust.
I always do disappointing games and Game of the Year awards. Everyone else does it differently. I always do this. So
There, I've solved the blank space problem. I need to have just like fill full screen on my layout, but you know, I guess I could do that right now, but I'm lazy. No, he ain't playing no games tonight. It's gonna be Q&A if he finishes early. Let me increase the fidelity of the image up there.
5,000. How are you?
I'm sorry for being extremely lazy on this streaming hobby.
Jade says he thinks that one of the disappointing games is Street Fighter 6, but he loves Street Fighter 6. He loves watching me play it. You know, a lot of games have that kind of a relationship. You're going to see some of the games that I have on this countdown are good games that I actually very much enjoyed playing this year. But they're still on the most disappointing countdown for a reason.
I hate this shit when he does this. He's... You notice in my tier maker, you know, you review a game as the whole package, dude. Like, what... Not exclusive to my tier maker shit. I was gloating for a second, sorry. But it's just like, bro, stop with this splitting it apart into multiple list bullshit. What did you think of the game as a whole? I like Legends Arceus, and that game runs like hot garbage.
And you're gonna see why.
I still gave it a thumbs up.
Gabriel, with a super chat, he says, if Resident Evil 4 is on here, I will be up in arms. You have the right to be up in arms. Really?
That's fine if Resi
Up
is...
in arms. That is cool.
Realize, there is a Hogan JPEG right there.
I'll give it just a few more minutes, guys, before we start.
Hogan
I'm
there?
not expecting a ton of people tonight, by the way. I'm just not. These late night streams never really get
Wrong way.
or anything unless
There we
it's a new release game. But you guys are kind of my big core audience, right? You're the ones who care so much about my opinion that you're here tonight to chill with me for this. I appreciate that. So.
How do I...
And just quickly, yeah, we have some goals. It'd be great if we hit 885 members tonight. We're about 12 away, so if you wanted to become a member, get the membership to support the channel and the community tonight, that'd be great. And tips, I
tried to create a little
it's
skip
great if we do that
juice.
tonight. If not, it's not the end of the world. I'm more focused on putting out fun content for you guys tonight, this countdown, than really worried so much about fundraising, so you won't hear me talking about it that much. Mostly you'll hear me if someone does contribute, shouting it out, but I'm not going to be bringing this up constantly during the stream or anything like that, okay? Trust me, more than enough to get through here, talking about the disappointing games, than getting off topic. 672, I just answered that question. How the hell did you not hear? Did you have, like, giant carrots stuck in your ears when I answered it? Or were you taking a shit, but you're embarrassed to admit that you were taking shit and you just got...
What I'm asking. He needs to be media literate. How can he know about games after 15 years?
Yeah, tonight is definitely a night of chillage.
Fair
For
point.
sure, it's a night of chillage tonight. We're all gonna relax and have fun here.
Chillage.
What is the truth?
You're gaming. Well, what are you doing? If you can't concentrate on the game and the stream at the same time, then turn one of them off. If you can't multitask, then don't attempt.
Yeah, no, I'm,
When I get to number 5, are you gonna come to the stream chat and be like, so can you repeat what numbers 10 through 6 were? Because I was gaming.
Okay, hang on, I got an answer to that one.
Super chat. He was like, I hope Starfield is the worst one, laughing out loud. See,
Probably will be.
This is what I really like about the year-end series now. If you guys remember, when I used to review games, you guys would always figure it out and know all the rankings ahead of time, right? You would. I mean, I did not talk reviews. You had number scores. People would just
God fucking damn it.
and say, okay, I know his best and worst. Here it is. Now I don't do that anymore, right? I play games for enjoyment, and we have great times.
Just in case it couldn't be heard.
Absolutely no clue.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I can't do anything.
Kill myself. You might guess. I'm sure you're going to guess a few games that are on this list no matter what. You know what games I wasn't in love with this year, right? But even then, you're going to probably have a hard time figuring out how I rank them. You're not going to be able to figure it out until we start.
So my guess is 3 is Final Fantasy, 2 is Tears of the Kingdom, and 1 is Starfield. Because this dude won't stop sucking dick with Bethesda. And Bethesda betray him.
Previously, you could already figure it out, and that was back in the day when more people would watch, right? Seriously.
Also, I want to apologize in advance that I'm gonna get absolutely salty probably again. Probably again at Phil's Final Fantasy segment. Like, I acknowledge it's an extremely flawed game, but this dude, man, he is like my ex-friend levels of toxic when he talks about 16. So I end up sounding like a white
I'm not
knight.
expecting this to do well at all. I don't really care. You know, it's nice to do. It's a nice tradition. I like keeping traditions. You know, makes it feel like it's kind of a cool thing every year. So, but that's just hilarious to me that I used to get tens of thousands of views, no exaggeration, on these year-end series. But people already.
What is the truth?
Like you could know what the game of the year
great.
was just by watching.
The algorithms already suck on SoundPad.
Year-end series, but they did.
Yeah. How can you play 30 FPS in current year?
$3 tip. From
Oops, sorry.
What's your least favorite game of 2023? Oh, let me tell you right now. I'm just gonna sit down. I'm gonna tell you all about the rankings before we get started. Let me do that.
Maybe I should quickly
try to leave it, but you're just gonna have to be a few more minutes patient, and then you'll get your answer. All right.
debating if I should make a full screen fill scene.
Nice try.
You guys care? He's so tiny, and I'm not doing anything on my screen anymore.
Member bomb on the community. Congratulations to DC, JJ.
Oh yeah, if you weren't able to attend my last restream or whatever, there have been some updates to the Nero dance rule. We will no longer have to suffer listening to the song more than once. You know, it becomes suffering if you spam it too many times. We'll still be able to get, like, more Nero ranks. It's just I won't have the music getting muted and all that shit over it.
What do you guys think? Should we wait just maybe start at 7:30, or do you want to start now? I'm chill with a few more minutes before we start. Like I said, I think we're gonna have some extra time.
I probably could have done one more tier maker thing.
A few more minutes if you want.
Oh my god.
Salazar, good to have you here tonight. I am doing well, but it's weird because, like, when I was in here earlier, the room was cold. So then I closed the window almost all the way, and I turned the fan off. I come in here for tonight, now it's hot and stuffy again, and I'm like, oh, so now I open the window. But now what's going to happen is we're going to start, and it's going to get cold again.
Oh god, am I the one apologizing? Shit.
Ever, like, ever. What was for dinner? We had tomato basil soup and a pasta salad that had Italian seasoning on it. It wasn't like no mayo or anything. It was just like olive oil and some pasta and like some like dried peppers and herbs and spices and stuff like that. So that's what we had. Vegetarian dinner, basically. Zero protein. Well, I guess maybe there is a little bit of protein in the pasta, but no meat. So I should.
The doctor will have a different.
Sardines. I have no idea.
He'll have something to say. It is not a robust meal. It's not going to be 3 out of 5.
Oh yeah, grilled cheese with tomato soup is amazing, for sure.
Yeah, I do need to stop apologizing. That's a bad habit.
Making grilled cheese with soup. What would you do?
If you want to make a highlight reel of me having DSP tier moments, you should look into me doing my crash course on DMC. Because I apologize for my skills sucking as a complete noob, and then I apologize for apologizing. It's not cringe.
Okay then.
Not at all.
No, we can start whenever. We can start whenever you guys want.
Okay, cool. Bro, please. I'm staying up late for this. Bill, I get up at 4 in the morning.
Homemade pasta. Yeah, we actually have not.
It's gonna be past my bedtime.
Years, reason being, COVID screwed everything up. Like during COVID, everything was closed or limited hours.
Did you ruin this world?
Regularly to the places we used to go. When we were making our homemade sauce, what we would do is we would go out to another area of the state that normally we don't go to, and there was like a Trader Joe's and a particular supermarket and another store all within like a block radius. So we could hit them all up and get all the ingredients we needed for the sauce. The vegetables, the San Marzano, special kind of tomato paste, like everything that we used, we would just buy it all there, and it wasn't super expensive. Like Trader Joe's had certain things cheaper than the other store, and the other store would have something cheaper than this. So we would just go.
What an amazing observation.
And then one day during the week, we would make a big pot of sauce. It would take all day, but that sauce would feed us for meal after meal. Like we would have saved up sauce in the
day after day.
2 months. And it was amazing, you know, having like one amazing pasta dish a week with this sauce was super good. But then,
is pasta too expensive?
And we never got back into the routine. I think since the pandemic, we've maybe made the sauce twice, and then we just stopped and we started buying better store sauce. Like, we don't buy.
Yo.
We don't spend.
YouTube, you fucking suck. Stop. We need to rewind that.
And then we just stopped, and with this sauce was super good. But then the pandemic kind of screwed it up. and we never got back into the routine. I think since the pandemic, we've maybe made the sauce twice. And then we just stopped and we started buying better store sauce. Buying better store sauce. Like
Rip and pepperoni. Sugar sauce. You will not be missed.
nah, we don't buy the cheap stuff. We buy like mid-range sauce. We don't spend $20 on a can of sauce. They have that shit. Like, what do you got in your mind? You know, but we get like mid-range sauce now to eat with our pasta. It just sucks, you know. The pandemic screwed a lot of stuff up. It really did. It made a lot of things not very viable, and then we never really got back into the swing of things with certain things. Is there a particular year that's the most blurry to me? Likely some of my earlier years on YouTube, because no exaggeration, I was depressed, I was alcoholic.
Oh my...
I was just constantly playing games while drunk, recording and throwing the videos on the internet, yet those were some of the most years I've ever had, no exaggeration. Like, it was pretty insane.
This motherfucker!
Was basically, like, barely sober. And then I would say 2016, because 2016 was the year when everything was kind of falling apart for me. My personal relationship, my business behind the scenes, everything was going wrong. You know, and then working my ass off to get KO Gaming off the ground, which was my edited content channel, and then it got demonetized. It was like everything at once bad. So I'd probably say, like, very early on.
My save corrupted,
so
Kobe died,
2015,
people got sick, I stopped making my sauce.
I couldn't tell you coherently what I did in years. And then 2016, because there was so much shit. Like for example, right now I'm playing Resident Evil 0 Remaster for the second time. First time I played it, January 2016. I barely remember it. I remember very.
So he really wants to speed run
anything
this
about
stupid
game.
list tonight.
I couldn't tell you. know. Did I ever have manicotti? My mother used to make homemade manicotti every Christmas. So yes, I've had amazing manicotti. Making fettuccine tonight, good for you. Fettuccine is delicious. And the many different ways you can have it.
Fettuccine easy to eat. Yeah, there are some years he gets this shit done in an hour.
Everybody, all right?
So he definitely
I'm
wants to do
brief intro
Q&A.
right here on this screen to explain the premise, how it's going to work. And then we're going to start going right into the countdown. 10 games, most disappointing. And what's going to happen?
Definitely looks familiar.
Playing of the game, okay? Ken and Jasper are great. They were napping downstairs. You know, after dinner, we typically hang out on the couch for a little bit.
Don't say it.
And usually, like,
No!
they get sleepy and pass out for a nap. I wish I could nap, but I can't because I have to get ready to stream again. But I think they're together.
Oh, dude. I hate that so much.
It's all good.
Gotta be Team Tyrannid, body horror, and Geiger stuff is like super fascinating, but this man, when he says digest, I'm fucking out. I draw the line, man. I am so grossed out by how often he says digest.
Start doing my countdown. Now would be the time. So right now, quick if you wanted to do it. If not, it's fine.
I couldn't need a Justin RPG clip for when he says that, man.
Play some video, tell you what I think.
He says digest, it'll just be like, Rish Ram.
So please be patient. If I start with a number and I'm explaining why it's that number in the countdown, please don't expect that I'm immediately going to drop what I'm saying, just do shout outs and stuff like that. But I'd love to get your opinions between the numbers and go from there. And again, I don't think this is going to take all night. I think this likely will take an hour to an hour and a half. If we want to stay a little bit extra for Q&A at the end, I can do that. My goal is
Sure,
to get
I
out of here
don't need sleep, who cares?
Tomorrow streams, it's 2 countdowns tomorrow, and I'll be stuck in here all night. So, thank you, Pizza Box. 2
VLX.
countdowns tomorrow, and I'll be stuck in here all night. So, thank you, Pizza Box Gaming, with the super chat. My picks are Starfield and Diablo 4. There you go.
Hello, fellow human worm maggot. Baby. I also am very much chilling and interacting during the digestion period.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm currently an hour ahead of Phil. And it's like I have to get up at 4 in the morning for work. And it's just like,
Are we ready to
mistakes
start?
were made.
Right. If that's the case, let's do it. All right, here we go.
And I'm just gonna be listening to like
Hello, everyone. Dark Side
somebody
Phil here.
covering it in the morning.
The year has closed. Indeed, it is January 2024. And early
I don't think I have
on in the
skip
year, I take
juice.
the
I
time to
don't.
reminisce
I'm sorry.
On the year that was.
Oh shit, I said it again.
Annual year-end series here on DSP Gaming. Right now, we are going to begin with my first one of the year, which is the most
I will.
disappointing game
Eventually.
2023 countdown.
I'll have to
Whenever
clock
I do
out
this countdown,
fast.
I believe this is like my 13th or
When he's
14th
done.
straight year doing this countdown this way. And what I want to do briefly before we begin is explain the premise, because every year people have questions. They say, Phil, these are the worst games of the year, right? Right? Wrong. These are not the worst games of the year. You know, ultimately, if you want to talk about the worst games of 2023, you're going to bring up games like Gollum or Kong Skull Island.
What was one that I
broken
think is
indie game that someone
trash?
played and paid for, and it was trash, and therefore, you know, it shouldn't even be mentioned. No, my countdown is different, and I've been doing the most disappointing games countdown for over a decade.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? The reason this stands out is because the games in this list aren't
No one's
necessarily
heard of
horrible
Monster
games.
Harvest. That's my
In fact, I'm going to outright
trash game.
tell you that many of the games in my most disappointing games listing this year are good games. The problem
Looks
is
familiar.
the games failed for me for one of many reasons. I'm going to give you a couple of those. Like, for example, maybe a game was great, but then kind
Don't
of...
be fantasizing about my
Maybe
pillow
the game
top
was
bed alive.
overhyped, and then didn't live up to the hype and the promises that it had told about before the game was originally released. Or there's a new running theme this year, and you're gonna see in many of these picks. This is
I didn't give a shit about what people said about Arceus. I enjoyed it.
disappointing.
And also agree with them.
Don't hold up to their current competition. This year, 2023, man, let me tell you something. A lot of the games that came out would have been perfectly fine for a previous year. But these games had
What?
direct competition this year
Oh,
that made it
current
that
year.
they just
Got it,
weren't as
got
good
it.
as they should have been because someone else completely outshined them. And so,
that doesn't make
it's going to be a very
sense.
interesting countdown. Here's how it works.
Guys, Slam Sand is just not that good a game because Super Meat Boy sniped it beforehand with defining the genre
But belongs at
of
that point.
slip,
Count.
slidey
Now,
physics
just to forewarn all of you,
platforming.
This is me playing my own videos from the year. They had a face cam, they had a leaderboard. So you might see double leaderboard. You might see this face cam and a face cam over there. Or a
Do
face
trailers
cam
then.
under me. It's not perfect.
That's what I did because my footage is boring.
I've tried to doing better things over the years. There's just no real way to do it when you do my content with the already have a face cam and a leaderboard. It just
My bed already works on it
So please
sexy.
bear
I
with
don't
me.
need your
Face
input.
cam is going to stay right here for the entire thing. So if you want to hear directly from me, look at this camera. Okay, the other ones aren't really me. And the leaderboard at the bottom of the screen you see there in blue, that's the real leaderboard for the night. Speaking of which, this is an interactive stream as much as a countdown video for on-demand audience. So people will have the chance to chime in and say
Oh, yeah,
their
yeah,
opinions.
You know it,
by
Vel.
stream. So
You
let's
don't
say I'm
need
going
to
through
see
number
every
10,
single
I'm
Phil
sure
Pre
things in
stream
the chat. When
to
I'm
see
close
that
out
pattern.
number 10, I will go to the viewers and see if they have anything particular to say.
That's why it's really great. He's going to be doing viewer voted best playthroughs. He's done those before. Ignore him if he says it's new. It's not. But, yeah, it's literally just a viewer and support audit. It's hilarious.
Now, I just received a tip, so I'd like to shout that out before we actually begin with the countdown.
Oh yes, also shout out to 878 members. And then he wants 885. It's
And one other final thing
Beautiful.
too. This is kind of neat.
next
Just
month's
talked about
crash
this
is
with my
going to be
stream chat
amazing.
Before I started for tonight. Right now, things are very different than how they used to be. Because you know, I've been making content on YouTube for over 15 years, and this is one of my longest running series. The thing is, it used to be very easy to figure out what all my rankings were, because I actually used to regularly put out game reviews. I would finish a game and immediately review it or whatever. So people would definitely know if I either loved a game or were disappointed with it. These days, you basically got to watch the raw playthrough. I haven't reviewed games formally in many, many years. So because of that now, everything
That isn't toxic, but the pillows are kind of like
maybe he'll say this.
they're being slouches. They're kind of trolling me a bit, man. I'm
That's
onto
why the
them.
series is cool now because it is something completely fresh and different, and you can't really predict. All right. So thank you all for being here tonight. If you're here live,
That is only
watching this
toxic
on
if my
demand.
bird
Thanks for
decides to
coming
be a
back.
little shit and shit
You know,
on it.
all the changes
Not
happened
funny.
recently. It can be a little hectic. I'm just happy to have everyone here for the year-end series this year. All right. So without further ado,
Oh man, what's
it's time to
competition?
begin.
Man, what?
Ladies and gentlemen, just to go right in line with what I was saying, the
What?
number 10 Most disappointing.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna start making notes
Not
there.
super disappointing, but definitely had a level of disappointment for me.
Would you fucking hurry up, bro?
A game that I thought was a very good game, and early on in 2023, it was a front runner for me for possibly my Game of the Year contenders. Ladies and gentlemen, the game I'm talking about is called Hogwarts Legacy. This was, for me,
Mid
a
AF.
experience
Mid AF.
in an interactive Hogwarts universe. Okay, the graphics were quite good. To see an interactive
Graphics?
Hogwarts Academy and then
Interactive?
and everything around it in this 3D interactive map was amazing. I come
Times two.
to say the first time I played
Interactive.
South Park: The Stick of Truth,
Bro, what is this footage?
South Park laid out in a big map, and you could spatially see geographic.
Spatially see.
Well, that's exactly what this game was. Also, the combat, the
Is there anyone who's knowledgeable in, like, literally all the other Harry Potter games? Because, like, Phil's like an infomercial salesman. It's like, you've never seen Hogwarts laid out in a video game style format. And it's like, yeah, we have. Bitch. Bitch.
magic was quite good. Take a look right now. Look at this. The mini games, the fun stuff that was in the game was very enjoyable.
That's a good point. Yeah, Shiny, I actually spaced it. I spaced that out. Yeah. He went absolutely, like, he was molding. Like, oh my god, it didn't get any nominations because the Game Awards has an agenda. And it's just like, oh, never mind. It's number 10 worst. Haha. Slow news day that day, guys. Oopsie.
So you may say, well, why on earth, with all these positives that you're saying about this game, right? Why would you say that this was in your most disappointing games of the year countdown? Well, there's a very good reason, all right? This game is very, very good for about the first 2/3 of the game. The questing, the character development, the story, the graphics, the gameplay, the spells you learn.
Dude, these graphics look booty
An interactive Harry
on
Potter.
console.
But the
This
major
looks
problem
last
is
gen.
twofold. The first problem was directly a problem that the game developers, sadly, did not keep the good pacing and the entertainment value at the same level in the final third of the game. No exaggeration, when you get to that final third of the game, it's boring.
Dude, I don't remember your numbers, but you were just ready to clock out. Like,
Because
come
you have all
on.
your spells. You have all your magic unlocked. You know how to fight. There's nothing left. There's actually
You know how to
entire
fight.
final third of the map that unlocks at the end of the game. And when you arrive there, you're like, oh, what is there to do? There's nothing
Okay,
else
yeah,
to do.
that's
No,
right, he
it's
played on
the exact activities
Xbox.
You've done for the last 20 some hours, just again.
Stop buying this shit then. Like, like, yeah, it looks like we have this game in our library. We haven't gotten around to playing it, Vel and I, but it's like, it very clearly suffers from Ubisoftitis.
And
Why are you shocked?
And that's incredibly disappointing.
I'm just gonna
What's
shout the whole
ultra
night, and
disappointing
Pepper's gonna be like,
there's
"You
more
okay, man?"
Finale, and there really isn't a very good finale. And so for me, this game was
Did
disappointing.
the trailer footage actually, like,
Level of
improve my
It just fizzles out. But in addition to that,
tier maker segment? Because I was like, shit.
not
I don't want to scrub through my footage too much.
Controversy that surrounds
I'll just do trailers.
2023.
I did it out of laziness.
Creator of Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling has become a
I do
polarizing
not care.
figure when it comes to things like trans rights and things like that. A lot of people absolutely hate this woman now for the things that she has said and done
Now.
over the years. Now, this game was not made by J.K. Rowling. This game had
Yes, Phil, the issue people have is that she gets royalties, which, like, for me, it's like, play it or don't. I don't care. If you boycott the game, she's gonna cry into her 5 bans. She has like 505 bans or whatever, you know?
no input from J.K. Rowling whatsoever. In fact, there is a trans character in Hogwarts Legacy that
No, tokenism. There is tokenism in this, Phil. You cannot use this.
is represented very
Does this character, this bartender, is this bartender existed at all overseas? Or are they, like, assigned male, like, overseas? That's the coward's way of representing people, is that you make it so that you can easily scrub them for your foreign, foreign audiences, because it's about the money and not actually giving a shit about the people being represented.
positively is a character that's positive and fun.
It's what Disney's been doing, where they just have, like, 2 gay characters kissing in the back. Ah, how convenient. They can just trim that one shot out for the Chinese audiences.
has stories, story missions tied to them.
Or the Middle Eastern audiences.
If anyone had actually played the game, they would know that. But there was this giant controversy all year about, oh, this game is bad because it's J.K. Rowling. And I'm sorry, I don't like politics in my video games. If I'm going to play a game, I want to enjoy it on its own merits. I don't want to have to hear a bunch of...
Yeah, it's like practically a self-insert.
About
Whoopty
this or that.
fucking shit.
And that's all I heard for several months when I played this game. I had to make a...
And that's an interesting take, VLX.
Why I would...
That would actually be something worth as a discussion piece for maybe not Harry Potter, but a different fantasy game. If you had potions that, let you transform and stuff, what would happen with humanity? You know what? This is a sci-fi topic. Maybe it's cyberpunk I'm just talking about.
Ever had to make...
Because if you have robot parts, you can fix that problem, allegedly.
Your history, but I had to...
There are still problems that persist. Oh my god, live in a society. I am just trying to change the subject, sort of.
By buying the game, it's absolutely ludicrous. So, not only do we have a game that's absolutely amazing, but then fizzles out in the last third, but then you have to put up with all the bullshit around you on social media and
you can just turn off Twitter, bro.
all the politics nonsense. It just makes a perfect storm of annoyance. So that's why, for me, Hogwarts Legacy...
There's like some random ass guy who showed up in my algorithms who thinks Capcom is woke or some shit because of one weak sauce death animation with Ada. And it's just like, block it. All right, it's going to be out of my algorithms in a week.
It was one of the most disappointing games of the year,
Done.
but that's also why it ranks very,
Break
very low
the
on list.
feedback
It's still a great game. And by the way, if you skipped Hogwarts Legacy because of all that nonsense,
no.
I strongly recommend you check it out. Did you know it was just announced it is the best-selling game of 2023? Oh.
Is it synthetic band? No, I think he has manga in his name or something. Based on the comments, he's maybe a grifter or something. It's just an echo chamber on that account because everybody was agreeing with him.
Over 22 million.
Nobody was bringing up the fact that the original Resis were heavily censored for the country that it was built in. But no, okay, Capcom's woke or something because we don't see Ada eviscerating into pieces like it's Dead Space.
Copies sold. Over 2 million alone.
One bad death animation,
on the Switch. So
they're woke now.
Obviously, the game's not the devil.
Giving Ashley really adorable tights and just removing the sus camera angles in case you feel her age is sus. Woke.
It's quite good. The game's media probably didn't tell you that because they didn't cover the game, because they felt they had to boycott it because they don't like J.K. Rowling for political reasons. That doesn't mean the game is bad. I strongly recommend you give it a look.
Yeah, exactly. It's another anti-woke grifter.
Okay.
At least it wasn't the yellow paint argument. I had that shit stuck in my algorithms for 2 weeks. I agree the yellow paint is ridiculous, but the amount of algorithm farming I was fed was even more ridiculous.
All right. Thank God we got out of the political discourses already. I can see in the chat people are arguing about it, and I don't want...
I had to break the tension, Phil.
We're done with that, okay? We can move on now.
Yeah.
Let's move on to my number 9 most disappointing game of the year, and so...
Fuck this game, it gets boring, and J.K. Rowling politics, but consider it, guys.
Some people will be absolutely shocked by this choice, but don't worry, I'm going to justify it, alright? Oh, by the way, DC says, Hogwarts Legacy reminded me of the Harry Potter movies. I like movies.
I thought there was going to be a haiku.
Look. And then Seo says, I loved playing Hogwarts so much, I replayed the game twice after. Wow, there you go. It's a great game. It really is. Okay, moving on. The number 9 game, I don't think anyone would have guessed this would have been on the list, but I gotta be honest, the game that, the number 9 most disappointing in 2023, the Dead Space Remake.
Okay.
Yes. First of all, a lot of people forgot this game was 2023. They get it confused.
Yeah, I did.
Callisto Protocol game that came out in December 2022. And a lot of people really love the game. All right? I'm not saying...
I am not going to at all confuse Unga Bunga one melee combo the game with Dead Space. At any time.
And I didn't love the game. In fact, it was one of my...
Yellow paint makes the frogs gay.
But there's a few problems with this game that ultimately...
It's just Dead Space.
All right? They just didn't... You're seeing one right now.
Oh, wow. He hunted this one. Nice.
Wow. You're literally seeing one on screen right now. Did you see that? Look. The Cursed Pants.
Dude, just reload the save. There was a patch that was applied to the PS5 version that caused Isaac's model to not spawn on me. So I did some really cool aesthetic photographs and videos, and then reloaded the save and it was fixed.
There are bugs and glitches in this remake. This is supposed to be a full remake.
Not really.
Game from
What the fuck were you doing?
Why are these ridiculous glitches like the invisible, unkillable pants in the game? Okay? And this is just one example of the many things that I ran into in this game that's supposed to be a polished AAA release. If you don't remember, there's a lot of controversy around this game. Why? Because the original creators of Dead Space don't work for EA anymore. They went off and made their own company, and then they made that game, Callisto Protocol. A lot of people
Oh yeah,
it. So in this
maybe
game,
he did put Hogwarts here to save his ass.
Ever. This game had tons of bugs. Invisible glitched enemies, game crashes, graphical problems,
I hate
blocks where you have
nothing.
to save to go back through because the game won't make progress. I mean, I'm showing them to you in a lot of ways here in this video, okay? I
only had the invisible Isaac glitch once. And then even if I went back to legacy saves from before the patch, they fixed themselves, so I couldn't even enjoy the haha funny bugs afterwards.
Did Dead Space remake have anything new in it? It did. There was a couple segments
Not
that were
really.
added to the game that weren't present in the original. For example, there was no anti-grav gameplay in the original Dead Space 1, okay? In this game, there is. There's free moving anti-grav gameplay. That was an element that was actually
Was floating
Dead
pants.
Space 2.
Floating pants out of 10.
Space 1 made it feel a little bit new and refreshing, all right? And yes, I would say one or two of the boss fights was kind of remixed. But ultimately, this game, which is supposed to be a remake, by the way, here's another invisible enemy that I'm fighting. Isn't this delightful? Here's another one. This game...
What the fuck did he do to his save?
Sadly doesn't...
Is this a memory leak because he never, like, turns off his PlayStation? Like, what is happening?
Hold up to the other remakes that have been coming out recently into the survival horror genre. For example, we had Resident Evil 2, 3, and 4 remakes, all of which I would argue are kind of better than the Dead Space remake. You may say, well, maybe Resident Evil isn't. Okay, arguably you're right. Resident Evil 2 remake,
I don't know.
still to this day is like the textbook case of an amazing modern survival horror game. Resident Evil 4 remake
Debatable.
this year and was far better than this game. This game, in my opinion,
No.
the original Dead Space far too.
I liked RE4R, but no.
Play elements, too many enemies. A lot of these rooms are absolutely identical.
Whoa. Excuse me, sir.
Better than this game. This game, in my opinion, followed the original Dead Space far too closely and
Okay.
way too many gameplay elements, too many enemies.
What? Guys, did you know that this facelift of Dead Space is in fact just Dead Space with a facelift?
A lot of these rooms are absolutely identical. In fact, if you actually play Dead Space 1 and Dead Space Remake, only I would argue 10%, maybe 15% of the game is anything new. Most of it is exactly the same as the original. So if you never played the original, great. But if
You wanted a new game.
really be paying $60 for this game, actually wasn't this $70 at launch? I can't remember the exact price point.
It was 70 unless you got it physical for 60. Get fucked.
$1 for a game that you've already played.
Yeah, it's a bit steep at 70 for sure. But like, wait for a sale. Riveting concept, I know.
They didn't add enough in. In fact, one of the things they added, get this, you can walk throughout the entire Ishimura ship. In the original game, you had to do traveling on the monorail to get from place.
Yeah, it's actually like
This one,
I forgot about this feature.
wow,
Yeah.
that really changed the experience. Not at all. You know what I mean?
Wait.
Ishimura ship.
Wait.
In the original game, you had to do traveling on the monorail to get from place to place. In this one, you could just walk from place to place. Wow.
Yeah, I didn't watch most of this playthrough. Did he stall by just going to each location on foot? Like, for immersion reasons, that's actually kind of nice that I can just walk around the ship.
Change the experience. Not at all. You know what I mean? Like, not at all. It's just sad because so many people praise the crap out of this game. Then
Yeah, it's a good remake.
bad. In reality,
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case at all.
Man, we're gonna have Final Fantasy 16 and Callisto triggering the fuck out of me from this man.
This is just Dead Space 1 with a facelift. So if you like,
Oh, shit.
basically, you know, you love a game that's like 10, 15 years old, and that's fine, but don't say this brand new game is better than the other brand new game. It's not. It's literally reusing all the same gameplay elements and assets and everything that get Dead
But it's like a definitive edition, you know? Like, what the fuck, dude?
made 15
What is your problem?
For me, I went into this game expecting everything new. I was like, wow, it'll be the same premise. The Ishimura's overrun with these aliens, but you're gonna have all these new bosses, all these new experiences, all this new, and it just never happened. It felt exactly like playing Dead Space 1 again.
Wait, no, what were you
I went into this game expecting everything new. I was like, wow, it'll be the same premise. The Ishimura's overrun with these aliens.
That's your fucking problem for not paying attention, dumbass.
But you're gonna have all these new bosses, all these new experiences, all this new, and it just never happened. It felt
Look. I know that this game is just RE4 in space, but like, it was not gonna be Resi 4 Remake.
exactly like playing Dead Space 1 again, with a few minor tweaks and some better graphics. So for me, paying top dollar for a remake, then finding out literally it's really not a remake, it's more of a remaster, that's incredibly disappointing.
Ooh,
When I beat the
3
game,
for MK1? That's an interesting idea, Train.
$70 for a game that's literally the same.
MK1 will definitely be here, but I still think Final Fantasy will be.
But you know, when you have, are you kidding me? I didn't even know. I swear, I didn't know what happened the third time in this clip. I had no clue. You see,
He wanted a reboot,
happened
which,
again.
no, you
That's what I
don't
mean, like,
want a
that just
reboot.
Kept happening over and over and over in the playthrough. It's like, and this is supposed to
Turn
be
your
triple
PS5 off.
No, it wasn't. It was disappointing for me. Okay. So that was my number 9 pick.
Yeah, there we go.
for the
Dead
most
Space
game. I
D-Made.
I had no idea that happened so many times in that pick, and that clip. I had no idea. Okay. So DC says, as an original Dead Space player, Dead Space 2023 looked sick. I actually played a good chunk of Callisto Protocol, reminded me of Callisto Protocol. I personally liked Callisto Protocol. I mean, so did I. I liked Callisto Protocol as well. I feel like so many people bandwagoned on the hate wagon for Callisto Protocol that when Dead Space came out, everyone, oh, Dead Space is amazing. Yeah, it's the same game you played 15 years ago. Like, you're praising a dev team who just used someone else's ideas and assets. It's this, you know what I mean? And I think it got way too much praise. Would I recommend the original game? What's better? If you're gonna choose between the two, obviously play the modern version. It would be pretty dumb for you to go back and play the one with outdated graphics and it doesn't have the ability to walk through the ship and stuff. Obviously, go for the better one. But is it worth $70?
No, not necessarily.
No, it's not. Okay. Darth Gobox says I think that Dead Space should have only been $40 or less. There you go.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! I need to stream the Mummy demake or demastered or whatever the fuck. Yeah, dude, that music slaps. I never finished it. I played it offline. I need to just
Let's
stream
continue, shall we?
it.
So that was number 9. Now we're into number 8. Now this one is a very subjective one. Okay. A lot of people I know
It's all subjective.
like this game. Personally, I didn't dislike this game, but at the same time, for the amount of
Why is it on the list?
to get through it and beat it, and for the
You should
amount
just
of
have a mediocre
honestly,
list
At the end
then.
of the day, I was pretty darn disappointed, especially because there was so much hype behind this game, and when it came out, it was just kind of fizzled. All right, ladies and
Hype.
gentlemen, the number 8 pick for the most disappointing game of the year, 2023, is Diablo 4. That is
Wow, nice
so
beanie.
no attention to the man on the other side of the screen. He is a faker. He is not real. Block that part. Put your hand over your screens right now, over that man. Okay? Diablo 4, man.
Are you okay?
I'm a fan, an old school fan of Diablo from the 1990s. I played Diablo 1 and 2. When 2 came out, it was a new release. I played it. I played the crap
Not
out of
enough
it.
money.
I got addicted
Yeah.
to it. I did several different runs of Diablo.
Not enough money and died on easy. He wanted to face tank on easy or whatever the fuck.
I thought it was an outstanding game.
How
And then
fast do I have this running?
Diablo 3 came out, which was over 10 years
I
ago.
do have skip juice.
Diablo 3
Yeah, okay, we're at 1.25.
And I was like, wow, I can cover this game for YouTube. This is going to be really neat because this is a game from my youth that now I can cover for an audience that...
Back in 2010.
And when I played Diablo 3, people were bored. Like,
Or
really
whenever the fuck Diablo 3 came out.
And I was shocked because back then, you're talking, you know, what, 13 plus years ago? People liked everything I put out. So to have people outright tell me, we're actually disappointed this playthrough sucks, it's boring, I actually was like, wow, I wonder what happened here. Now, when Diablo 4 was coming out, I outright even told you guys, I wasn't convinced to even get the game, because Diablo 3 had not worked.
Bill needs to try playing Path of Exile, which I've heard is the Diablo killer.
So, we
He likes Diablo, right? He should play the Diablo killer.
You must play Diablo 4. If you don't play it, you're going to be missing out on one of the best games of the year.
I don't think anybody said that.
All right?
Didn't he, like...
There is not actually any
Wasn't he wishy-washy about this game?
of this game.
Wasn't it whale-funded for a while?
It's not the graphics. It's not the gameplay.
Graphics.
It's not the story. In fact, I would argue that all those three things are pretty good. The problem is, Diablo 4, and to some extent Diablo 3, are basically games from a bygone era. And what I mean by that
What?
is these games are like games that maybe if they came out in the 1990s would have been Game of the Year, correct? The problem is it's the same kind of game, the same kind of formula. When you play
Please don't give Vel an aneurysm, Phil.
play tweaks, there's different, you know, legacy elements in it that are fun, but it's legacy elements. Do you understand? This genre of game has advanced. In fact, as I was playing this game, there's people talking to me
Wait.
about, well, did you hear about this one, or this one that came out in the last 5 years? It has like all these other elements that aren't in Diablo 4. I was like, no, I don't know anything about them. They're like, that would have been way better, right? If you had played those games, you would have probably had a better time with it because they have new things. That this game feels like a retro game with a modern facelift over it, right? And here's the thing, like, I didn't have any problem playing it. I don't really remember particularly struggling playing.
Hey guys, there are better alternatives to Diablo. You know, people were telling me that this, and this had elements that just weren't present in Diablo. So anyways,
But at the same time, it took a long
great review.
story. And it's funny because I beat the story and people were like, so are you gonna do the post game? I was like, the post game? We were all saying that this game was too long in the main story. And now you think that I'm gonna be doing post game streams of it and stuff. It didn't really catch any kind of traction with my viewing audience. After I had beaten the story, I had zero desire to go back and do any of the post game content that was unlocked. It was just kind of a one and done, do the story, get out of it. You know? Now, for a game that was so hyped, because again, every time that Activision Blizzard had this new game come out, especially one of their tried and true franchise games, it's like, oh my god, the Messiah has returned and is coming down from the sky, which is ironic because it's a game about demons, so maybe it's Satan's returning from the underworld or something, right? But the point I'm making is everyone's...
Aw, damn, Path suffers from power creep.
Must play. If you don't play it, you're missing out. You're gonna miss one of the best games of the year. And I'm like, I don't know, I'm skeptical. You guys convinced me to play it. I play it, and it was dead on exactly as I expected. It plays like Diablo. It looks like...
Yeah, I think this was a whale-funded one. I don't
But it's
tend to
20
keep
years
track
too
of
late
this.
to be interesting. You know,
Talking about Phil is a hallucination. You're lucky if you remember anything.
And like a group of friends that love Diablo, and we went into the post-game challenge dungeons, and we were doing seasonal content afterward. Maybe then, all right? I would
Oh, so get
I would
friends.
have absolutely been in love with it. But for someone just playing through the campaign, it's just not it. It's not. I felt like it was more of kind of a waste of time. At the end of the day, I couldn't tell you what happened in the story of this game. And I did a full playthrough of the story. I don't know. You wanna know what we did? I kept pressing a button on my controller like this. And I killed a lot of stuff. That's the album.
Wow.
I killed probably 40,000 enemies, and that's all I can really remember about the game. So,
Wow. I think we just got a view into what his review would be for Final Fantasy XIV.
Said, no, don't
I just put the button.
It really didn't do anything for me. It didn't do anything for you. It should have been better.
Okay, I don't give a shit what it did for me.
There was no innovation, nothing to write home about, just kind of meh. And
I care if my soulmate enjoyed it.
So there you go. I had a feeling
I hope he had fun.
my countdown either.
And that's about it.
Okay.
That's all I care about.
All right, we're 3 in. How do you guys think about the first 3? Agree, disagree? DC says, I played a bit of Diablo 3, it was fun. Never played Diablo 1, 2, and 4. I'm neutral with your
And I didn't write down all the reasons Diablo 4 sucked.
No other takes? I think some people were...
Dead Space was because of floating
that's
pants.
Okay. 1000% disagree. Well, it's a good thing this is my countdown, not yours. There you go. You have the right to disagree. That's personally fine. It's absolutely personally fine. You know, everyone, it's different strokes for different folks. Everyone has different personal preferences. If you love Diablo 4, good for you. At least you feel like you got your money's worth, right? Okay.
Leave Blizzard, they left me.
Radical Jaw says, I agree with you. It was just mid. And Carlos says, I'm actually surprised it's this
Yeah,
low.
it's mid, so why is it on this
Disappointing
list?
Game of the year. Wow. No, what I heard,
Ow.
hardcore Diablo fans, they were more disappointed than me. Because they played the post-game content, they didn't like that either. And then apparently they rebalanced the game right after that, and they hated that. It was like everything that came out was disappointing to Diablo fans, so... Maybe I actually didn't even dislike it as much as most others. Who knows, right? Okay, let's continue on. For the record, no contributions that I can see. If you guys
Nice listening to Phil at 1.25.
having some issues with PayPal.
I know I'm technically behind, but whatever.
Gratitude and not skipping stuff. So, all right, continuing on. The number 7 most disappointing game of the year for me, out of this entire list that I'm staring at right now, I can absolutely positively confirm to you, ladies and gentlemen, number 7 on the list is the most rage-inducing playthrough that I did in 2023. I was
That's like all of
my
them.
head off every moment that I
Street
was
Fighter?
playing this game. I was getting so upset, and I actually wanted to
I
quit.
have bad
The
memory.
game that I'm speaking of, ladies and gentlemen, of course, is Wolong Fallen Dynasty.
Oh, yeah.
Attention to the jackass on the other side of the screen. So Wolong Fallen Dynasty, everybody. Let me tell you guys something about this game. All right, this is a game with an identity crisis. It doesn't want to be Dark Souls. Does it want to be Neo? Does it want to be Dynasty Warriors? What? It's hard to tell, all right? It
Did you
looks
ruin
nice,
this
except
world?
that you can see just right now, you can see that there's some fluctuation in the frame rate and choppiness in the graphics of this game.
Oh, this was the new capture card, that's right.
It's actually quite difficult, which is fine if you play this style of From.
So I'm pretty sure, yeah, so I think this was one of his token Souls-like attempts. He does that so that he can prove to you that he is an expert in the genre and that he will never have to play them again. So this was this is the bad game that proves why he doesn't have to play any more Souls knockoffs, and Lies of P is the good one.
Off knockoff type game. The problem with Wolong is
Excuses, basically.
number 1, The game design forces you to explore every nook and cranny of every single map, because the way you level up in the game is to actually hit these little flag outposts, and when you hit them, you put your flag up, and you actually gain like in-game experience for that level. If you
Dude,
hit
I have to
one
walk
flag in a
through
level,
every square inch of a new map in Final Fantasy XIV.
so the game artificially, by design, forces you to do over-exploration, grinding, and leveling that in any other game of this style you wouldn't have to do.
So you're mad because you couldn't rush it.
Maybe you say, I don't need to do everything over here, I'll just skip that segment, I'll go over here. In this game, no, you're absolutely, positively forced to explore every nook and cranny of every map, and it just feels like a big waste of your time.
Wait,
Alright? It really
16 is going to be higher ranking, and you could technically do those side quests optionally.
at all
I don't know.
in that regard.
Brain fart, don't mind me.
For me, and this is going to be a subjective thing based on my experience, I played Wolong Fallen Dynasty on the Xbox Series X, okay? I don't know about anyone else's experience playing this on any other platform, but it was an Xbox Game Pass game, so that's why I played it on there. Let me tell you, this game performs very poorly on the Series X. At least it did back, what was it, March or
Oh
April?
god, yeah, I didn't think too deeply about his Dynasty Warriors comment.
The
That's
frame rate would dip
fucking-
into the 20s.
Oh,
not even
Phil.
30 frames per second, the 20s. And the game actually
how do you know?
the gameplay mechanics to be able to parry perfectly the attacks the enemy was
How do you know it was 20 FPS? You don't have a Steam overlay.
30, 20, 60, 20, 40, 20, 60. How the hell am I supposed to time my parry? Are you out of your mind?
How the hell am I supposed to believe you knew what the frame rate
It was
was?
impossible to play the game. And this would happen over and over and over in the playthrough, making it artificially way more difficult than it should have been. Alright? If they just found
I have no idea how
done
accurate this
shit
complaint
on
is.
the Xbox, then this would have been a much better game and a much better playthrough. And it's funny because
Bruh.
the game looks good, as you're seeing right now, it actually looks pretty darn beautiful, does it not? But then when that frame rate tanks at a critical moment, when you're in a boss fight or a big, you ran halfway across the stage and you're about to unlock that next flag and get a checkpoint, and then you die because the frame rate went do-do-do-do-do. You want to rip your hair out, you wanna punch the screen, you want to take your controller and snap it in half, because that's the kind of game it is, okay? So, for me, this game wasn't a badly designed game in the combat. It wasn't badly designed in the visuals. The problem was they wanted you to act like it was a flawless game and play it as if it was some kind of an amazing experience when it wasn't. Having a frame rate that's dipping makes it not fun to play. And then on top of that, having to go to every flag post, like you just saw there, in every stage in order to even make proper progress, it made me so infuriated. So you knew a game that pissed me off the most this year was definitely going to be the game that I was going to have in my disappointing countdown, all right? You might say, well, if this is the case, why is this even...
You got $100
Here's why.
on that
It was not
stream?
my expectations for Wolong to begin with. So although I was disappointed with it, I wasn't that disappointed. This isn't like the worst game of the year for me or anything, because I
But
went into it with
you're basically saying it was unplayable.
game. If I had dropped $70 on this thing, and then I was having these issues, I would have been even more infuriated. And it probably would have been way higher up the list. Luckily for them, it wasn't. So, Wolong Fallen Dynasty.
I don't like
Yeah,
this
it is for the most part
ranking.
when it works. I actually heard that certain ports of the game are much better than the Xbox version, so maybe if you played this on a different platform, you had a better experience than me. But I don't like the game design of having to hit all the flag points. I don't like the dipping frame rate and the awful responsive parrying when that happens. So for me, very disappointing and not worth playing, quite frankly. I toughed my way through that one because you guys absolutely wanted to see me finish it. You loved the rage, so I did finish it. But man, I literally wanted to quit it multiple times during the playthrough. Haseo says, thank God you didn't end up as one of the people who just throw a controller at their TV and damaged it. Yeah, I certainly learned that,
No, he only smashes his...
people breaking it during
Yeah.
the God of War game. I learned my lesson.
No, you do that with your
As
joysticks.
a Neo player, I thought
Both
the
of
was
them.
going to be good. When I watched the playthrough, yeah, my disappointment isn't measurable. My day was all ruined. I'm glad I didn't actually get that game. Here you go. Jay says, I'd love to see Star Wars on this countdown. Well, maybe. I guess we'll have to see. Right now, it's number 7. We still have many more to go.
Gay space frog
Let's not spoil it, shall we?
wrecked his ass.
Okay.
If it is on the list, it's because it didn't
Guys,
iterate or
straight up.
innovate.
Super chat came in from Anime Fan 565. They said, I wouldn't be surprised if Star Wars is on the list. Oh, I guess Anime Fan was actually of the same mind as Jade here.
Did he say anything besides FPS as the reason why Wolong was bad?
Cool. Okay, let's keep it moving. We're about a third through our countdown. Okay, everybody? Up next. This next game, again, I know will be controversial, and a lot of people are going to give me crap for having it on here. At the very same time, for those who actually watched my playthrough of this game, you
Oh
probably
yeah,
absolutely
Devil May Phone Bill comes out on Wednesday. I'll be trying it out.
that.
Hope I can get it to run on
Another,
BlueStacks.
Well, Multiverse Dimension, all right? Probably would have been a Game of the Year high-end contender, and maybe even my pick for Game of the Year. I'm not kidding you. all right? But we live in this dimension. We don't live in that other multiverse. In this dimension.
Oh yeah, FPS. Yeah.
Everything going on and everything around and the history of this franchise. I gotta tell it like it is. Ladies and gentlemen, my number 6 most disappointing game of 2023.
So start.
Legend of Zelda: Tears of the
6.
Kingdom. People already guessed in the chat that this is what it was gonna be. Before I even begin, I'd like you to take a look at this video footage. And
This is contrarian side fill.
Do you notice a distinct difference between this game and all the other?
It looks just like
in the countdown.
Breath of the Wild.
You know, explain it. What's up with the fucking frame rate of this game?
Oh.
It's supposed to be a brand new AAA release in 2023, and it runs like shit on the Switch. It's a exclusive that runs like shit on the Switch. It's a Switch exclusive that runs like shit on the Switch.
It's just like, really, dude? He's muted. Cool.
That sucked me up. Seriously. Do you notice a distinct difference? What's up with the fucking frame rate of this game? It's supposed to be a brand new AAA release.
Like, I get it. It really...
And it runs like...
The Switch runs on, like, mobile hardware, man. I don't know what to tell you.
It's a Switch exclusive.
I want it to run better, but, like, shit, man.
Sub 30 frames per second for most of the game, and God forbid you get a bunch of enemies coming at you at once. That sucker chugs along, okay? Very frustrating. Very frustrating. Now, someone said, "Are you sure this is the right game?" Oh, I'm sure this is Tears of the Kingdom. Trust me. You can see the attachment of the orb on his shield, all right?
The attachment of the orb.
About Tears of the Kingdom that disappointed me. Well, first of all, I want to make this very clear. Tears of the Kingdom is not a bad game. Tears of the Kingdom is a good game. Tears of the Kingdom is above average game. Tears of the Kingdom, likely, as I said, in another universe or multiverse, would be one of my Game of the Year contenders, if not my Game of the Year pick. But here's the deal.
What is the multiverse joke? Okay.
On the Switch.
Dude, you into the multiverse? What's that quote from Wish Upon? Dude, you dig multiverse?
It's called Zelda Breath of the Wild. I don't know if you've heard of it, okay? And basically, Zelda Mao, my Game of the Year pick, but here's the deal. There's another game that came out.
Okay, didn't innovate. I'm calling it.
Called Zelda Breath of the Wild. I don't know if you've heard of it, okay? And basically, it's the same game, all right? Now.
Yeah, he's showing footage that
Wait a minute. Hold on.
really doesn't show,
Tears of the Kingdom.
It looks good. Looks like it runs fine.
Modernized elements for parkour and climbing and all this. But Tears of the Kingdom is so much better because it has the overworld in the sky where you can do sky puzzles.
Dude, that was amazing timing.
The overworld in the sky where you can do sky puzzles.
He Y-posed to the sky gods and he got the lightning to happen.
In the sky where you can do sky
That's
puzzles.
great.
And there's the underworld where you can explore a whole map underground.
I mean, to be fair, I skipped this game because Breath of the Wild, for me, I had 130 hours of fun, but would say it's above average. But it's like, hey, this looks like a definitive edition. You know, if I really, really loved Breath of the Wild even more, I probably would have enjoyed this.
Didn't you know that the amazing physics of the puzzle elements in this game are awesome? And by the way, I purposely picked
Because, yeah, I kind of wish I didn't play Breath of the Wild, because it's like, this is like definitive edition, and like the building looks so cool.
Underground as well. By the way,
also more lightning.
Amazing physics of the puzzle elements in this game are awesome. And by the way, I purposely picked this clip for this moment you're about to see right now. There we go. This was my most rage-inducing moment of the playthrough when that happened to me. I picked this clip on purpose. All right. So, admittedly, the game has some interesting elements to it. I actually enjoyed the crafting that was new for this game, and how you had to use the new physics and crafting elements to solve tons of puzzles, and that made it feel innovative. It absolutely did. In fact, that's why this game
it did innovate.
Countdown and not like number 1 most disappointing, because there were some really good positives about this game. Okay, but I'm sorry, the negatives of this game
did innovate, but
here's why. When you're playing this game, you'll very quickly realize this is the same map as Breath of the Wild.
Same map.
Identical. There's a few tweaks here or there that are a little different, but it's the same.
Yeah, that's kind of goofy. Says the man who totally loves Yakuza, by the way.
Sometimes you go to a previous area from Breath of the Wild, and there's not anything going on there anymore, because they didn't even bother to populate it with anything interesting.
This sounds valid.
Okay? When you go to the underworld, at first it's interesting, and then you realize it's just a dark area with a bunch of areas you can't go because it's all poison. And it's not very interesting at all. It's actually quite repetitive, very annoying to navigate. There is a dungeon down there, but for the most part, it's not that interesting.
I have no comment on that one.
Well, it's nice to have a whole new area to explore, but it's just a bunch of aerial puzzles.
Oh my god, the Bender beanie is just like poking out. There's just this random fuzzy dong in the top corner.
There's a little bit of gliding. Nothing too special, quite frankly. Everything that they claimed was something that they were adding in felt like something you've already done before. The only innovative thing about this game, honestly, is the new building and crafting and the physics engine attached to it.
Hey, wait, is he saying it innovated but didn't innovate?
You've already done before. The only innovative thing about this game, honestly, is the new building and crafting and the physics engine attached to it. Is it fun? Yes. Is it enough to sell you the same game a second
God,
time?
Emperor, I hope so. But
element that
you and I know.
Is just not enough for me to be ultra excited about Tears of the Kingdom. Now let's all
You and I know it's going to be on the best list.
has a lot of content. This game has a ton of content. This was the very first Nintendo game that they charged you $70 for. Do you remember that? How hot it was? That they were going to
I'm not sure.
$70 for a game on the Switch, and people were up in arms. And then the game came out, and they're like, well, you don't understand. See, there's the sky world, the ground level, the underworld, all this exploration and content. To which I was playing the game, and I was
Oh my god, take the shield off! Holy shit!
the amount of content. But the more that I played in the game, I realized something very, very important. The vast majority of the content of this game has absolutely no meaning. It's just there to say there's more content.
It's not
You
meaningful.
don't have to do any of it, okay? For me, playing through the main story, getting all of the glyphs that were on the hillsides and things like that to get the full story of Zelda and her time and stuff like that, getting the Master Sword, and then basically beating the game, explained everything in the game that I needed to know. I'm aware there was other things I could have been doing, but I didn't really need to do them. There's giant dragon bosses that are optionally in the map you'd never...
Well, this is foreshadowing his Final Fantasy rage he's gonna do because God forbid you want some world building and breadcrumbs that just kind of make your experience a little more interesting.
Never need to fight and add nothing to the game, but they're there. There's underworld bosses. They're there. You don't ever have to touch them. You can skip the vast majority of content of the game, still enjoy it, and still get the story.
You know, I agree. You can just turn off the stream entirely. You can just skip it.
The problem. There was one description that I gave this game when it was out, and a lot of people had issue with. I said it was called bloat. This game suffers from bloat. The game designers wanted to put so much in it to claim it was worth $70, but on actual face value, most of the content in the game doesn't have value. It's just there to say it's there, you can go do it if you want, but it's not meaningful. If you...
Okay, dude. So this game's bloated with content you don't gotta worry about, but then when Wolong goes and finds a way to get you to actively engage in the world, that's bad. Am I following this logic right?
The entire story just by doing the main dungeons, the glyphs, getting the Master Sword, and you can skip all the optional stuff, then what's the value of it? Zero. All there is padding to the game has content that's worthless. It's equivalent to fetch quests or other boring repetitive stuff in all kinds of RPG. Just that this time, it was in a Nintendo game, so I guess we're all supposed to just give it a pass, right? It's frustrating.
But, like, I get it, but also, like, all you need to say, Phil, is that I couldn't handle the fetch quests in this. I don't know. I
enjoyed
I don't know.
Kingdom. And in a
I
world
don't know what I'm trying to say.
Breath of the Wild didn't exist, this game would have been amazing, but they directly made the decision to make a sequel to Breath of the Wild so they could pump out another Zelda game on the same console
Gotcha, yeah.
use the same assets to make the game.
God, this is like giving me Reforged Gaming vibes, where it's like, yeah, I'm kind of following what you're saying, and I don't disagree, but also you're a bitch.
Cut corners to make money, and it shows when you're playing this game, and the frame rate
Cut
is
corners.
absolutely terrible, and the game's response in combat is not great, and you have all these repetitive tasks to do that mean absolutely
Combat's
nothing.
fine.
That shows. They
Not great,
got
but it's fine.
lazy
In
making this game, and
oh wow.
Nintendo usually is the polar opposite of being lazy. But I feel like this game shows they just wanted to push out another game before this console gen ended, and that's incredibly disappointing to me. Oh, by the way, did I mention that they retconned the entire story of Breath of the Wild?
No.
You literally could have never played Breath of the Wild, played this one, and you missed nothing, even though it's a sequel. They retconned it all, as if it never happened. And people are like, well, no, they didn't. Yes, they did, because they never mention it. In the game, they never mention the plot of the first game at all, as if it never happened. You don't need to know anything about it. So it's just like, wow. Now, here's the thing. I compare this to...
Wait.
But
oh, sorry.
This game, and that's sad. Nintendo usually is the polar opposite of being lazy.
Sorry, DDM, distraction there. Wait, I was like, DDM got membership?
And that's incredibly disappointing to me. Oh, by the way, did I mention that they retconned the entire story of Breath of the Wild?
Okay, sorry, we're back
you
here.
Literally could have never played Breath of the Wild, played this one, and you missed nothing, even though it's a sequel. They retconned it all, as if it never happened. And people are like, well, no, they didn't. Yes, they did, because they never mention it. In the game, they never mention the plot of the first game at all, as if it never happened. You don't need to do anything about it. So it's just like, wow. Now,
This man actively disengaged with Final Fantasy, so I really don't believe his interpretation of the plot one bit.
here's the thing. I compare this
As somebody who has not played this game,
Assassin's Creed Origins,
he's full of shit.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Valhalla. Odyssey and Valhalla, people are like,
What?
it's too much of the same. But the truth is that Odyssey and Valhalla did have new content and refined the formula of Origins.
This does too, bitch!
Same game back to back, so it feels like they just pumped out the same game 3 times. If
What?
only Valhalla had come out, and not
What the
Origins
fuck?
or Odyssey, everyone would have said, oh my god, Valhalla is such an insanely groundbreaking game. That's exactly the problem with Tears of the Kingdom. If Breath of the Wild
What?
never existed,
Oh.
this game would be absolutely knock you on your butt insanely good. But sadly, Breath of the Wild
Okay.
was an outstanding, amazing Game of the Year contender game, and now this game just felt like more of the same with a few things thrown at you. So sadly, I did not like Tears of the Kingdom as much
Guess
as
that's how I
Even
felt
I'm
about
disappointed
the
in you
Resi
about that.
3
Maybe you guys
remake, but
disagree, and if you do, more power to you.
No.
You absolutely have the abilities to disagree, but that's my take. All right, we are now halfway through the countdown. Nikita has arrived and is
Mario 2 was just a dream, dude. It retconned itself.
Bombs of 50 memberships on the chat tonight.
The non-Doki
So,
Doki Panic
everyone who's
version,
here is
of course.
apparently going to get a
Or wait, no, the
membership.
Doki
Just got
Doki Panic
100.
version.
All right.
Sorry.
That's absolutely
Sorry.
insane. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait because they take a while on YouTube to get applied. So right now 37 have been applied and it's slowly hitting. You guys are going to see non-stop in the bottom down there. That message probably won't disappear for like half an hour now. Okay?
Like, yeah, isn't the thing with, like... You know what? My brain hurts.
Thank you so much, Nikita. Nikita just dropped another...
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, it's like, okay. So he's trying to make an Assassin's Creed comparison, and it's just like, okay, well, sure, fine. Lots of recycled content, but for a lot of people, what new stuff was added in Tears was, like, significant. Meanwhile, Assassin's Creed just keeps kind of like, you know, played one, played them all kind of thing. You know, like,
memberships on the chat. Another... So 150
What?
memberships.
has Assassin's Creed done something that shook up its formula that much as, like, Tears did for Breath?
Tonight. Can you believe it? How many names from DSP chat? A high number. We just had OP Gaming. Right. Let's move on because we still have the rest of the countdown to get through. Okay.
I have a lot of
Here
skip
we go.
juice.
And by the
I
way,
am...
DC, I apologize. I know you tried to say...
Oh no, never mind. I'm only
I'm
3
sorry
minutes
that you said
behind.
it, because the chat is going absolutely insane with so many people getting gifted memberships. People are going crazy.
I don't know what Ryan did. I don't
This
give a
game is
shit.
Better in emulators. I really hope Nintendo...
He didn't give Phil $5,000, so I don't give a shit.
Zelda ran much better on an emulator than on the Switch. On the Switch, it was pathetic. It really was.
Pathetic. Yes, Phil, you'll find that if you don't use mobile game hardware, it'll run better.
That's very sad. And I do hope that Nintendo learns
Mobile
their lesson, but
game
again, I have to
hardware,
call
you know
out
what I mean.
fan behavior. When the fans keep rewarding Nintendo for bad behavior, they'll never change. Zelda sold tons. So despite the game running like crap on the Switch, it sold tons. Why would Nintendo have incentive to do better? They don't need to. DC, he said, I love your emphasis on the orb attached to his shield. That was funny. I never was a fan of the Zelda games, so that's my 2 cents. There you go. I am a fan of the Zelda games, quite frankly. That's why I was disappointed that this
Yeah.
game really felt like it wasn't a real new Zelda game. So, okay.
The only emulator that struggles
Thank
is,
you again. Those
what,
bulbs are gonna continue.
PS3.
Thank you, Nikita. Amazing.
Or have we finally fixed
The
that?
number 5 game on this countdown, honestly, I think I'm more sad about this one than any other game on the countdown. I'm actually
I'm
like,
sad.
sad about this
I
game.
can't remember
Reason I'm
most of
sad
this
about
past
game
year,
is
so...
because it's a good game. It's a damn good game. I would actually argue the game I'm about to talk
The
about
last third
is
gets
better
bad.
than the game it's a sequel of. Alright? It's better than the original. But this game had such a problem at launch that was not properly
Yeah, it's-
addressed that this game ended up being one of the most frustrating game experiences that I had all year long. Ladies and gentlemen, my number 5...
Please stop saying ladies and gentlemen. It's like when I keep apologizing.
Star Wars Jedi Survivor. And you might...
Uh,
Really? Yeah. You might not remember because this is one of the releases that came out relatively early in the year. What was it, like March or April? I think maybe April-ish. And basically this game is a direct sequel to Star Wars Fallen Order from a few years ago.
yeah, I would hope so.
Open world exploration, a tougher style of Star Wars game.
Yeah, the launch was pretty ass.
Quite that tough, but it's got cool parkour, optional puzzles, great story elements, and sadly, it's a really solid game. You can even see when the visuals are working beautifully. This game is amazing, okay? The problem is, and by the way, I apologize because
That's cool, Phil. Just
save it this
have
way.
footage of a monster that looks like a giant phallus at
Done
first.
incredibly poorly. Okay.
Incredibly.
Yeah, the game screams lack of polish. But I'm not. When I say that, here's what I mean.
Just
Tanking frame rates to the point where, similar to Wolong Fallen Dynasty, this game is fully playable, and all of a sudden you go to fight a certain group of enemies in a room.
lack of polish. like how he used that. I would just call it unoptimized. That's not this.
And your frame rate goes from what was
Like it.
60 down to like 10, 20, and you can't react to anything going on in the game. How am I supposed to play an ultra difficult game where everything I do is delayed because it doesn't run well on the platform it's on? Okay? In addition, this game has tons of game bugs. There was game bugs where I would open a chest and try to look at an item, and it would crash the game and force me to replay 10 minutes of gameplay because you can't manually save in this game. It's based on checkpoints. That's not good. There were parts where there were enemies that floated and the physics glitched and all kinds of issues like that, all right? Now, the real sad fact is that the game is great. The story, in my opinion, is much better than the story of Jedi Fallen Order. It's a much better sequel. It has elements that are, the graphics are better. The gameplay elements are better. There's way better combat in this one, okay? There's companions that come with you in various different places. Look, you have dual sabers, you have all these different stances that you can do, and they're absolutely fun and amazing. So my question is, all those things going for it, okay? Because there's a ton of positives going for it. Why is the game dev, would they have released this game in the state it was at when it came out? Because they knew they had a winner on their hands with a better, again, better plot, better elements of gameplay, better graphics, better puzzles, better parkour. Why would you then release it to run like crap in certain parts? Why not give it a little bit more time to get polished, to run better? Why? I mean, Jade actually just called it on the chat. He says, I feel sick when I watch this game. He's right. There were people who were getting motion sick from me playing it because it would go from 60 frames to 20 to 30.
No, it was because it had really bad motion blur. It wasn't because of raw FPS.
So how are you supposed to enjoy the game exactly? You know what I'm saying? Like, what?
Wait for a patch? I don't know. I don't know. Like, we definitely should discuss, like, optimization problems in video games from the past couple generations, but it's like, I also feel like it's a cop-out with Phil to just be like, game bad cause frame rate bad. It's just like, it's so hard for me to, like, figure out where I stand on this. It's like, yeah, it absolutely, like, but also, like, it's
an amazing game, and they ruined it by not polishing it at all. From what I'm to understand, okay, the game. But here's the thing: I actually wanted to give.
I mean, I gave high praises to Cult of the Lamb, and I played the Switch version, which ran like a slideshow during boss fights.
The game a fair shake. When I was playing it, I was actually really enjoying it until I was running into these parts that were.
Yeah, it wasn't like, I swear Jade must have been on some tough medication. Like, he was tired all the time around, like, I think around this time, somewhere during the year.
Almost unplayable.
He was just
So
constantly sick.
Suspended my playthrough, and I almost never do that. If you go back in my 15 years as a creator, I almost would never put his playthrough on hiatus and then promise to come back later because something was wrong with the game. I did. And then I went back to it maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks later, when the game devs had promised they had patched the game and made it better. Nothing was improved. It was the same issues, the same. I just basically toughed through it really badly to finish it, and it was so disappointing having all those bugs, glitches, and visual issues.
Yeah, the membership bomb is ruining the video.
Games, they are not fully explored or appreciated by a mainstream audience because the game runs like shit, and then it goes viral that the game runs like shit.
I'm sorry, what?
With outstanding games, they are. This is sad because this seems to be a new pattern. With outstanding games, they are not fully explored or appreciated by a mainstream audience because the game runs like shit, and then it goes viral that the game runs like shit.
This is Star Wars.
And now no one's gonna buy your game. I wouldn't be surprised if this game was absolutely polished at launch. This would have been a game that at the end of the year, everyone was talking about as a Game of the Year contender. Instead, did you hear a single person at all mention this game, Jedi Survivor, at the end of the year as a game of the year?
Somebody in Dropped Frames, I think,
Forgotten about
put it in their top 10.
because of its issues. And that's absolutely positively sad. Because again, that's why this is number 5 on my list and not lower. Because I thought the game was great. When I beat it, I was like, my god, the ending was amazing. Why does no one talk about the game?
Yeah, his top disappointing games of the year is just technical complaints. Bugs, 30 FPS, unstable frame rate. Can't even say one game that he's just disappointed because he didn't like something or a mechanic.
Like shit.
Yeah.
They need to stop.
Maybe that's why I'm annoyed at this, is because it's just like, the game's bad because of shit that got patched out later or something, but at the same time, it's like, I don't expect him to go back and replay the game now that it's patched, but it's just...
Stop doing this. Whoever it is, in charge of, the management, the publisher, whoever's putting the pressure...
I also put up with slideshow difficulty in Cult of the Lamb, because I loved it. I don't know, man.
Game that gets forgotten. It's super good, and probably today,
I feel like I'm in a catch-22.
What, this is 8+ months later, who's talking about Jedi Survivor? No one.
It's a single-player game, mofo.
Man, and the first impression was this game was a broken mess, and that's why the game is for.
Oh, JP also liked it? Okay. I didn't remember that. I was like, it was cool, right?
Perhaps those
This somehow innovated more than Zelda.
Ladies and gentlemen, there were 200 memberships have counted. That means we have now hit a new record. 1,078 members here on DSP Gaming. That is by far the most I've ever had.
Yeah, it's like...
You know, all due respect, I played...
I don't care about this part.
Good stuff. Now we're getting to the nitty-gritty, everybody. Now
I still have 3 minutes of skip
really
juice.
disappointing games, okay, now we're getting down to the ones that, man, I kind of wish they didn't come out. You know what I'm saying?
But they're just disappointing, guys. It doesn't mean they're bad.
Such disappointments, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Anime Fan. Anime Fan.
Oh shit, I forgot about Superstars, because I was on vacation when he played it.
In fact, the game
for 2 streams.
Yeah, I heard that, right? That they actually are supposed to be canon to the Star Wars movies and stories and stuff, which is kind of neat. Shout out to 672. 672 gifted a membership and it went to Thunderlips, right? And thank you to Gabriel. He gifted a membership. That one went to Morbidly Obese.
Yeah, I guess...
So now, technically, we're at 1,008.
Yeah. Definitely worth calling out the unoptimized games, but yeah, just... I don't know. I'm getting caught in the loop. Don't mind me.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, number 4 most disappointing game of the year. I had said
I'm just
earlier,
confusion.
when we started this playthrough, I said there are a few running patterns. This game, by far, suffers as a victim of one of those running patterns. 2023 was the year.
Pattern play?
Certain games that came out far exceeded expectations. They blew it out of the park. And when they did, all of a sudden, some companies started shaking in their boots, right? Why? Because they realized that they were making games in direct competition, and their games weren't holding a candle to the competition. You see what I mean?
Yeah, this does sound like MK1.
That if they had released in another year.
So for those of you who don't know, I don't know if Val knows or whatever, but Phil thinks Mortal Kombat is nowhere near as popular as Street Fighter, and in my opinion, that is because he literally only played Street Fighter. So like, no shit, he would think Street Fighter was a bigger deal. Like, from my perspective as a kid, Sonic is better than, like, more popular than Mario because I almost exclusively played Sonic games. So it's just like, I don't know, like a favoritism bias. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh my god, that's a like, but because something else came out the same year, they don't look so good at all. And it ended up making those games look very bad in comparison and a bad value and just not up to par with what people now want.
Bad value.
So, my number 4
what is it?
most disappointing game of 2023 is Mortal Kombat.
Hey!
Which, of course, is incredibly confusing at first. The title is the same as the original game from the 1990s. I hate when they do that.
There's nowhere else to run.
Like it's a reboot or whatever. They already did that with Mortal Kombat 9, and now they're doing it again, a second reboot of the franchise. So right from the get-go, the premise is a little confusing and not very good. All right, take a look at what it says right there. Did you see what it said for the ping? 108 milliseconds, right? Or 5, or whatever it said.
Okay. I've dealt with worse in Genshin Impact when I used to play.
Look at the graphics. That ain't
graphics!
But the problem is, look at it now. When you start playing this game online, you immediately notice a huge problem. The connections are laggy. This game has the same netcoding connections as arguably the last 2 Mortal Kombats. But the 2 Mortal Kombats came out many, many years ago. In addition, this game has a very basic gameplay setup. For those who don't know competitive fighting games, you're going to have no idea what I'm talking about right now, okay? But the major premise of the fighting in this game is a high-low mix-up. What that means is sometimes you have to block a move high, sometimes you have to block a move low, and sometimes you have to read your opponent's inputs and change from blocking high to low in order to properly defend. This game is so laggy online, you can't actually block a high-low mix-up. So people playing it online literally abuse this and just say high-low kick into a juggle, high-low kick into a juggle. You can't do anything about it. You literally just lose to certain characters because you can't react to what they're doing, okay? This is supposed to be a competitive fighting game, and this is how it was released. Now, that was only at release, but more and more issues ended up being revealed with the game over time. First of all, I played through the entire story mode, and I actually like the narrative modes of these NetherRealm games. NetherRealm is the game developer. I think they do an outstanding job with their story modes, okay? However, I will tell you this. What ended up happening with Mortal Kombat 1 is they decided to do a story mode that copied the Marvel Universe. What do I mean? A multiverse concept. And that multiverse concept was such a copy that it didn't feel fun or original. It just felt like they were late to the game.
Doesn't that did the original Star Trek have multiverse stuff? Because then everything's a derivative of that, guys.
Doing a multiverse concept. And what happens with a multiverse is you end up feeling like nothing that's going on is meaningful. Because at any time, let's say someone who's your favorite character dies.
I mean, I don't like multiverse or stuff much either, but...
The character could just come back anyway. It's just from another universe. So who cares if your favorite character dies? They'll walk right to another portal and be back into the game. Do you see the point I'm making? So multiverse doesn't...
Yeah, I can't think of what old Star Trek did for their multiverse episodes, but I'm like, it's
no big deal.
like a sci-fi staple, man.
And ends horribly with this multiverse plot that was a real fail. In addition, get this.
Like, I kind of get, I get it. Multiverses are kind of comforting, you know? Comfort food kind of thing. They're just fun, but also they're annoying.
Game-breaking bug that made the game completely unbalanced and unfair.
Oh, the left player.
Player 1 or 2, because forgive me, I forgot which one it was. Had a huge
Left player, no beef.
On one side of the screen, you would go to do a combo, and your combo would pass right through the enemy and not hit them. But the person on the other side of the screen could easily perform their combo every time and it would hit. It was a hitbox bug, depending on what side of the screen you're on. That's completely ridiculous and unacceptable in any kind of a competitive environment. It has to be equal footing. And this was discovered about 3 weeks into the game by players, not by the game developers. The game developers had no clue it even existed.
What if it was an honest mistake?
Understand their own gameplay elements?
Bro.
So they quickly patched it.
I don't believe you.
But the funny part about it was tournaments had already happened. So in tournaments, the results really didn't mean anything. They were worthless because it was unfair.
Wasn't meaningful.
Playing advantage. So the story is awful and ruins the franchise.
How many people on the debuffed side still won?
With basically what they're trying to do with the game. And then on top of that, the game had a game-breaking bug that made it completely unbalanced, unfair, and broken at launch. To make matters,
how big was this member bomb, by the way? Oh my god!
Street Fighter 6 came out this year. And when Street Fighter 6 came out, alright, it basically completely...
I did not pay attention to over 1,000 members.
Best online connections. A great online ranking.
Thanks, OIC.
Characters and gameplay styles, and introducing an insane amount of new gameplay elements. Mortal Kombat 1 didn't do any of that. It was just a high-low mix-up game with some assist characters coming out. It played almost exactly like...
I'm sorry I'm talking over this. It is the same shit.
Competitor just a few months before your new release has...
We're speeding this up. Why was I doing this at 0.25?
Likes of which you've never seen before. They're introducing a ton of new gameplay things that have never even been a part of their franchise, and they're blowing it out of the park on every single level. And then you release an
holy shit, once we get live, he just stopped.
The problem is, it's just par for the course.
This bullshit.
From Mortal Kombat. It doesn't innovate, it doesn't feel like a new iteration, it almost feels like an expansion from Mortal Kombat 11, and that's a problem. Any other year, this game might have felt like an awesome complete package, but Street Fighter 6 came out last year, and Street Fighter 6 literally at every corner upstaged Mortal Kombat 1. Didn't have a game-breaking bug at launch, had all these new gameplay elements to innovate in, had the best online play in business. When this game came out, it felt like I
guess an example of why his FPS arguments annoy me for all these items. Bloodborne. Horribly optimized game. Goat. Absolute GOAT game you gotta play, you know?
People are still streaming the game, talking about it. Mortal Kombat 1 is all but...
You can still get good with all of its unoptimized bullshit.
Fighter 6 is at the top of the competitive scene, and Mortal Kombat 1 just a few months in is dead and no one cares. The only time they talk about it is when a DLC character released. So Homelander's in it now, so everyone go and play it for a week, and then it's dead again. Okay, so...
You mean like with Street Fighter 6?
Mortal Kombat 1, I was honestly hoping that 2023 was going to be very similar to a year back in the day. If you remember, Street Fighter 4 came out, and it completely reinvigorated the entire fighting game community. Then all of a sudden, you had Mortal Kombat 9, and a new Tekken, and another new fighting game. And within a span of 2 to 3 years, it was like the renaissance of fighting games, right? It really looked like 2023 was going to be the renaissance of fighting games. But then Street Fighter 6 came out, and then everyone's like, oh shit, can Mortal Kombat even stand a chance? And the answer is no.
No, I don't think anybody was asking that.
They didn't try to even implement the elements that Street Fighter 6 had. They just didn't care.
Would he say this if Tekken came out the same year?
Game, and when you're knocked it out of the park, you can't release a mid-game. You have to try to stay in competition, and sadly, they have not.
You're just a Street Fighter dick sucker, dude.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. We have 3 left, the top 3. Matthew did a super chat and said, "Evening, Phil. I always look forward to this time of year, and I do agree with you, and no one talks about it ever again. Not see tons of people as if it never exists. All right. Okay, cool. It's time for the top 3. All right. Once again, if you can believe it, my number 3 pick of the most disappointing...
We're only 30 seconds behind now.
Exactly the same situation as my number 4.
A year back in the day.
Why when I show you what the game is. Ladies and gentlemen, the number 3 most disappointing game of 2023 is Sonic Superstars.
Hey!
You're the one responsible for all this villainy.
Sonic the Hedgehog had not seen a mainstream 2D game actually come out since Sonic Mania. And Sonic Mania was absolutely insanely good. It was everything retro that you would have wanted from Sonic the Hedgehog.
I have not been paying that close attention on these slop games, so
there you have it.
I don't know how accurate it is.
To basically take the formula of Sonic Mania and put it into a full 3D engine, as you can see right here. And I'll be honest.
Aw, there's little... I completely ignored this game. I'm gonna be real with you.
Where it has this whole 8-bit aesthetic, only done with modern graphics, and it actually has great gameplay elements. And
I will try this game on Mega Sale, man.
I wanted to showcase the fact that this game is not atrociously bad. All right. The problem with Sonic Superstars is twofold. Okay. Number one, it came out in 2023 when its direct competitor Super Mario Wonder also came out only like a week or 2 weeks after. Number two, this game is so...
I really want to play Mario Wonder, but don't put it on such a high pedestal. Come on now.
For full retail price, unlike Sonic Mania that had come out years before.
Wasn't it 40?
This game was selling for a full $70 at launch, or was it 60? It was either 60 or 70. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I have to tell you, I'm going to be honest here. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This game is 5 hours long.
You didn't replay it.
5 hours long. Now, once you beat it, there's a little bit of optional content that opens up at the end if you want to go back and do like these master run stages, a few extras. So maybe you'll get another extra hour or two out of it. All right. But 5 hours of gameplay in 2023, charging full retail price is completely and utterly unacceptable. To make matters worse, on top of that, okay, sadly, some of the stages aren't good. Some of the stages are way uninspired and not that interesting. I've made an effort to try to show you.
Yeah, that's why I didn't buy it.
But actually, I'd argue that half the stages just aren't that fun. What is fun? Well, you can change characters. You can play as Sonic, Tails...
Oh, it is 60.
And each
Hot damn.
Gameplay mechanic. However, if you play as Tails, the game is incredibly...
That's fucking rubbish.
So you probably don't want to play as Tails because it makes the entire game so dang easy. Okay?
That's Tails.
And a game like this, again, it would have been great if it was a $40 release. I probably wouldn't even have had it on this countdown.
Like, Phil had extremely high expectations with a game that you would have known what you were going to get by reading the tin. Like, you know, I'm extremely critical about, I mean, all Sonic games in general, just because I'm a huge fan and I like to think about these games a lot. But like the side-scrolling ones, especially, I'm like, oh, it's one of those. Like
$30 or $40 release. But for them to have the balls to try to charge $60 to $70 for this,
he should have known.
Is ludicrous. Again,
I have no sympathy for him for thinking like, oh my god, I was tricked. And it's like, no, you fucking weren't. This game, it was obvious what this game was gonna be.
Why? Because of the year. 2 weeks after this game came out, or maybe even a week, Super Mario Wonder came out. Do you want to know how much content Super Mario Wonder has? 17 hours.
Good one, Emperor.
For exactly the same price. 5 hours.
You're supposed to replay these games. Like...
of Sonic, 17 hours of Mario, same price. Do you see the difference? You can't even try to justify the price tag of this game. It is absolutely ridiculously overpriced. So, if you're
just like, yeah, I think 60 is too much for a traditional side-scroller Sonic, but like the fact he's saying this and he just clocked in, clocked out, didn't really engage with the game, and he's such a big classic Sonic fan. Fuck off, dude.
Maybe if you got this game for free, you think it's amazing. But anyone who had to pay for it, there's no way you can justify.
He didn't even consider looking at the content.
Wow,
he just assumes it's not there.
They're still charging $60 for this. The price hasn't even dropped yet. That is insanity. You know? Oh, by the way, I
nice skills, Phil.
Boss is frustrating. It has multiple phases and no checkpoints whatsoever. And again, for a modern game, to have a final boss that's frustrating no checkpoints is a pain in the ass.
No.
Because you have to restart the whole boss fight from scratch and redo 10 to 15 minutes of gameplay.
That's the point.
Every time you die. So, yeah, it's very disappointing. It's upsetting. Sadly, I wish that it was better. I mean, how sad is it that I can concretely tell you that...
Yeah, this was too short after Zelda was too long.
Years ago, 5, 6 years ago, is a much better game than this, has a much better value than this, has better replay value than this. And quite frankly, I think it actually looks better too. I'm showing you the best looking stage of the game, but I think that the retro look of Sonic Mania looks better than them taking this game and putting it into modern graphics. I think this game fails with the modern graphics. So, Sonic Mania, great. Sonic Superstars, a huge fail. By the way, they were not made by the same studio, even though you might think it was because it's the same style. It wasn't. They put this to a new studio.
No.
Maybe that's why the game is so short, because the studio didn't have the basically didn't have the experience to put out as much content as they felt like they would have or should have. But again, man, can you imagine releasing the same?
I wouldn't know if the final boss is ass because Phil's just mad because you have no checkpoints against the boss. You got to get good.
That's absolutely insanity to think that that was going to fly, and it definitely.
But yeah, I have no sympathy that Phil willingly spent full price for a game that obviously was not going to be worth $60.
Okay, and
like he just cannot make any informed choices.
Go through
like,
each of them and show you each of the games and
explain this shit again.
Each of the games is a disappointment, and then I'm going to give you my actual ranking. So I want you to understand that I'm about to show you 2 games, but this is not number 2, number 1.
Shit.
All right, I want you to understand that.
I had a surprisingly small amount to say about the Superstars segment, probably because I got sick of it.
If I show this game, you're like, oh my god, that's number 2. No, it's not number 2. All right, we're going to talk about each game.
We'll just...
The first game I want to talk about in the top 2 most disappointing games of the year of 2023 is Starfield, okay? Starfield was insanely overhyped by Bethesda. And maybe
what a pain.
Maybe they didn't. After some subpar releases, you know, when Fallout 4 came out many years ago, people were not in love with it like Bethesda had hoped they would be, but it still sold like hotcakes. When Fallout 76 came out,
I mean, Todd's really good at like.
It actually has gotten.
What's the word?
Over the years, but again, it was considered a failure at launch. There really hasn't been any Fallout content since.
Silken Tongue.
Elder Scrolls. Well, to be honest,
he's good at building. Todd's good at building hype.
Elder Scrolls Online and 17 re-releases of Skyrim. We haven't gotten any new Elder Scrolls content either that we've been craving. So when we found out the reason for this is because they were working on Starfield, everyone says, wow, I guess they're really putting all their eggs in one basket. But hey, it's Bethesda. And Bethesda, you always tend to give the benefit of the doubt. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing wrong with Starfield. I just want to make this abundantly clear. The game plays fine. All right? It's an experience like you would expect from Bethesda.
But it didn't innovate.
With RPG elements, with lore, with looting, with combat, and some unique combat elements. Lots of dialogue trees, lots of questing. If you look around this game and you explore it fully, you're going to find tons.
At least his guns are actually doing damage.
It's definitely not a game you can say I got ripped off when I bought Starfield because it didn't have enough
content. He was shooting enemies with guns that they resisted. Like, Jesus Christ.
Again, Mr. Todd Howard overpromised and underdelivered. When they were showing this game off earlier in 2023 and even 2022, oh, there's going to be open world exploration. There's going to be the ability to go to all these worlds and to put down little bases and mining camps and to colonize on them. And you're going to have all this unique stuff in the universe you're going to be able to find.
Unique.
And you're going to have this, and you're going to have this, and you're going to have this. And he was promise after promise after promise after promise. And almost none of those promises are satisfactorily lived
never mind.
up to.
Oh, well, that throat clear went through.
First of all, look at the game. This is not me showing you a subpar stream. This is how the game runs on the Xbox Series S.
Shit, we're live.
The Xbox Series S. You need a high-end gaming PC to get this to run above 30 frames per second because it's locked on console.
I didn't pay attention to this game, so I'm sorry I have no commentary. 30 FPS!
Launch, and that was how many years ago? How is it acceptable to have a new game that's supposed to be a groundbreaking new IP in 2023 and it runs like a choppy mess? There's no way you can accept that.
Current
it's just
year.
not supposed to be like that. In addition, this game tries new.
Oh, I see. I can't tell what Phil's tip goal is. Your pop-ups keep getting in the way. There's pop-ups on pop-ups now.
For sure. It's got space travel. It's got crafting of your spaceship, right? The problem is, almost every single new element that this game attempts fails. Literally almost every single new gameplay element that's put into Starfield is disappointing. Building your ship is the equivalent of sitting in front of someone with a 1,000-piece model set trying to figure out how to fit this piece into this piece and being intricate. Who wants to do that in a video game, right? Space travel, oh my god.
Customization?
It is such a huge disappointment. It's not fun, and by the way, it's not even needed. Outside of a few times in the plot where you actually have to do space dogfights, you never have to use space travel.
Yeah, I gotta bide my time.
Galaxy. You never have to build your own ship because you can earn them through missions or just buy them. So why does it even exist? The whole go to an alien planet, explore for minerals and elements, and build these colonies and colonize, it's all a lie. You don't have to do any of that. You get everything you need during the course of the story of the game. It's there, and you absolutely never need to do it. It's completely superfluous. So what ended up happening was, I feel like they made
Skyrim as
that
well.
plays just like everything else they've always done. It plays like
Didn't
Fallout.
innovate.
It plays like Skyrim.
Which, I mean, it didn't.
It plays like all those
ever.
franchises smashed together. That's fine if that's what you're looking for. But I think most of us were looking for something new and innovative. There is literally no new innovations in this game that work or are needed. They're all a waste of your time, okay? And that's a major problem. When you have a new IP and you have nothing that's notable in it besides it's the Bethesda formula, how are you supposed to get people excited about that? And so many people were excited for the game, started playing it, and when they got like 20, 30 hours in, realized it's really, damn, it feels just like Fallout. It feels just like Elder Scrolls. It feels like everything else I've played from Bethesda, just with a little bit of a skin over it because we're in space. But outside of that, it's the same game again, and you just lose your excitement for it. I had a hard time going back to the game and actually finishing it, you know? Does it have factions? Sure. Does it have a main story with companions who you get to know and you do quests for them and then you build their affinity? Yeah, like every other Bethesda game. They didn't try to innovate. So I have to ask the question, what took so damn long? What took them so long to make Starfield? It's literally the
I don't know, man.
the same elements, the same thing.
They were scrambling to fix Fallout 76.
Something new like gun crafting. You never need it. It's completely worthless. There's an entire research tree and upgrades in the game. Worthless.
Oh,
Add to the experience.
right. He was on an easier difficulty, wasn't
They're
he?
just a time waste, and they make you think like they're important. Come to find out, you wasted all your time and efforts gathering those resources, building or getting those skills to do them. Completely wasted. You could have been doing things better with your time. So it really is sad because I feel like this is a universe that you can get immersed in completely, but it's just not very fun to do it. It feels blah. Like I've been saying this whole countdown.
Bleh.
It's not, oh my god, terrible, but it's not innovative and fun. It's just kind of meh. If I want to kill time, I'll play Starfield.
So this isn't number one.
In fact,
Gotcha.
I'm showing you one of the more innovative missions in the entire plot, where there's a dimensional shift. You can go between two versions of the same base. This is one of the more unique things in the entirety of the game. Everything
Wives ass, let's go!
On top of that, without spoiling, the plot's terrible. When you
I hate when we kick into the live feed.
absolutely god awful.
So
To
slow.
the point where everything you've done in the plot up to that point doesn't matter. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to spoil the plot for those who haven't played it.
Everything you do since you get out of bed doesn't matter.
This game, get to the end of the plot. Well, sorry you wasted all your time. Oh, well that makes me feel like I really, you know, am valued and cherished by Bethesda as a company, doesn't it? So, not only...
So, I'm just hearing a bunch of, like, what everybody's grievances with this game were. So Phil's unique, robust take is that it's not meaningful. Cool, because optional stuff is optional.
What? Does it not do innovate? Does it fail at all its promises? Overpromised, underdelivered, runs like crap on Xbox, then the ending also sucks. So it's like crap after crap after crap. I mean, it's kind of hard to top a game like that, honestly, when you think about it.
You know, to be fair, still ran. That's why he was so mad about Tears of the Kingdom. He didn't engage with the
Top that game.
thing that makes it stand out as a sequel.
Even more disappointing than that game.
So yeah, of course it was just Breath of the Wild, pushed out.
This line just kept continuing because there's another game that I feel was just as disappointing as Starfield, okay? By the way, thank you, Anime Fan, for the super chat.
Let's
It's
go.
But it's from a AAA studio. That's the only difference. Wow. Well, thank you, Anime Fan, again for another super chat.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to criticize Starfield, you gotta be bold. You gotta be mad at pronouns.
Because the last iteration
At the
of
buttons you control.
beloved gaming franchise, when it released, was well recognized as being an unfinished and jumbled mess. Okay? So now we were told this is good because this game franchise has now been handed over to a group that knows what they're doing. We're given the time, given the resources, allowed to properly do everything the way that they should have. You absolutely will be getting a complete game when you buy it. All right? So, oh, okay. Well, thank God we're not buying an unfinished jumbled mess because this is such a beloved franchise that's been going for so long. To see it get it kind of fumbled, right? And come out unfinished.
But he liked
really
15,
disappointing.
didn't he?
It's just that. So,
Or does he just not remember
when
what he
you
thinks
cover all
about
this
15?
information about the game, and you
I feel like he
start
praised
seeing
it.
all the visuals of it and everything. Wow, the story sounds interesting. It's a different take, right? It's a different take on this franchise that we've never really seen before.
Yeah, this is sounding like 16, alright. Alright. Here comes my 3 minutes of hate. Let's go. Let's go.
And then I started playing it.
Come on, bitch.
And again, I have to say, maybe my opinion is different than yours. And that's fine.
Yeah, it's wildly, insanely different.
But I'm going to justify everything I'm about to say. Ladies and gentlemen, the other most
Please try.
year for me was Final Fantasy 16.
Menu segment.
No stretch of the imagination, okay? First of all, PlayStation 5 console exclusive, right? Can't get it on Xbox.
Temp.
And as a console exclusive, you expect it's going to perform well.
It
does
performs
not.
great.
This
What?
game struggles to maintain
wait.
a frame rate, all right? Sometimes it's a smooth
Stationary, did you not put it on performance mode?
60
This game was built. This had a built-in FPS fixer if you just tone down the graphics. You bitch. I actually don't remember.
And it's okay. Sometimes it's below 30 and you don't want to play it anymore. Especially if you're in mid-combat,
What?
a bunch of enemies. You don't want a frame rate that's going like this the entire time you're playing the game. So if you're going to make it console exclusive, you have to get it to run well on the console it's exclusive to. They did a poor job of that.
Oh, that's right. He was praising 15 while playing 16. That's right, because the boogeyman changed. This thing is no longer awful, okay? It's this thing that's awful.
Okay? Now, there is a
Come on.
saying, right? And that saying is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like for the last maybe 3-4 iterations of Final Fantasy, they've really tried hard to change what Final Fantasy is, which is
Not really.
because I feel
I mean,
like Final Fantasy has one of the biggest, most dedicated
Right. This is one of those hashtag not my Final Fantasy assholes. All right. All right.
fan bases of any game franchise because they've been around for so long, right? You don't need to reinvent the wheel when you make a new Final
Arms
Fantasy.
crossed.
All you gotta do is give us an interesting story with some great graphics, some pretty interesting RPG gameplay. Toss
Depending on who you are, this game hits all
all
those.
the enemies that we're used to from the past games, but give them
Yeah.
more modern versions and iterations.
Uh-huh.
I think you've got a hit on your hands, right?
Okay.
It seems to me
So check the boxes and success.
like they absolutely are determined to try to make these big sweeping changes to this franchise every single game that comes out.
Okay. Christ, I hate this so much. The thing is that for quite a long time now, Final Fantasy is basically an anthology, sort of, unless they want to make a sequel that's directly connected to one of them. But it's just so annoying when people are like, oh my god, what happened to the good old day? And it's like, it's been like this for like a decade.
From what the original games were, it's almost like they're purposely trying to tell you, if you're a fan of Final Fantasy, don't play this. We're only trying to appeal to a new audience at this point. Don't even care that this is the same enemies, the same spells. Screw all that, because it's not going to play like that, right? This game, they absolutely, positively went out of their way to make it not
Dickus
like modern Final
has become a member.
Excuse me, classic Final Fantasy in any way, shape, or form. Okay, how? Let's talk. Number one, a new adult tone.
Oh, no. Here we go.
Game.
Here we go.
Like modern Final Fantasy. This game, they
Okay, I'm sorry.
screw all that because it's not going to play like that.
I'm
Right?
blacking out
This
here,
game,
man.
They absolutely, positively went out of their way to make it not be like modern Final Fantasy, or excuse me, classic Final Fantasy in any way, shape, or form. Okay, how? Let's talk.
What?
Number one,
It's an ARPG. Done. Bye.
new adult tone to the game.
Because Final Fantasy has never covered existential questions, ever.
This game drops the F-bomb constantly and thinks that somehow that's a creative decision that's going to
Okay.
change the game's audience or improve it. It does not. All right?
I see what he means.
Previous Final Fantasy games almost never had that kind of language. This one does. This one has sexual content in it. There's actual sexual actions and things between characters. The game thinks it's funny. A lot of people said, oh, what they were trying to do.
No, what the Oh, because of Benedicta. Phil, Benedicta is not the only nudity thing. I mean, look, Benedicta's hot. I get it. But, like, no. She is kind of like, does some like Team Rocket comedy relief practically, but keep going, keep going.
We'll go for a more mature tone, like Game of Thrones, like the game really. At the
What article is he ripping off? He is so proud to be able to say this, and it's like, what article did you take this from?
Out of the game when it's a bunch of kingdoms all trying to usurp power in this giant
Only Game of Thrones does this?
map or whatever, that it
Guys, real life was actually just Game of Thrones the whole time. Life is derivative.
feels like Game of Thrones, okay? So if you like Game of Thrones, you might like Final Fantasy. The only problem is, number one, Game of Thrones ended like 5 years ago. No one liked how it ended. There hasn't been anything really like it that much since. It's not popular anymore. Maybe if this game had come out
Well, dude, wait until Phil realizes that everything rips off TND. Whoa.
10 years ago, when Game of Thrones was at the height of its popularity, someone might have said, oh, look, edgy Final Fantasy. But instead, it just feels like it's ancient. It feels like it's outdated.
What?
It feels
No.
like they're trying really too hard, and it comes
No.
out as cringy rather than innovative. I don't think the director understands that because
What?
it's such a fan.
I don't think you understand the significance of nude scenes and like how that like people are more vulnerable when they're in bed with somebody.
Fan base of people who kiss.
Like, you don't even understand that.
He doesn't know that his game is cringy as shit. He actually thinks he made the right decision making it as edgy as he did. Okay? The story, alright, is good on paper and actually in parts has really good character development and some really interesting scenes and plots, and sometimes you actually feel emotional. But at the end of the day, a lot of it is very forgettable, and that's sad. For example, I can't even tell you what's this guy's name. Is his name Clive? I don't even.
Wow. Oh my god. This is like a classic tactic for like people who went in to hate watch something. When the girl goes and talks to the guy with the lightsaber.
No, I don't remember. And I played the whole game. And I couldn't
Jeez.
Clive, Clark. I really don't know. But I played the whole thing, you know. Now, I will admit, some of the plot was interesting. In fact, I would tell you the one reason I kept playing this game was the plot. Why? Because let me tell you something about
Pick up Snood.
of Final Fantasy 16. Ladies and
Dying, Lauren.
I am dead serious when I'm about to say this on camera to the internet world in public.
As opposed to just being dead inside?
In my opinion, Final Fantasy 16 has the worst combat of any Final Fantasy game I've ever played in my entire life.
Right. All right. I'm going to jump the gun because I have heard arguments that start like this before. Okay, can 16 be mindless? Absolutely. It is a very simplified spectacle brawler kind of thing. It's good. DMC devs. It's very light on the DMC elements, but like, okay, so people are like, oh, you can just press one button and win. You press the same button for hours, and it's like, as opposed to pressing the same button on a menu for dozens of hours. I get it, but also, come on.
There is not a single Final Fantasy game that plays worse than Final Fantasy 16.
Oh my Christ, dude.
This game is a button-mashing mess.
Hey, what do you know? I jumped the gun and I was correct what he was going to talk about. Okay, yeah, okay. I hate pressing X in front of a dragon, so I would rather press X in front of a dragon.
Okay?
That's my Final Fantasy.
Farther into it and you unlock all the elemental spells.
Also, this... So, the thing is that yes, builds are a bit limited in this game. They absolutely could have expanded. add a bit more diversity in the builds. Phil picked like the nuke everything build, and he wondered why he was bored. Gee, I wonder, Phil.
Literally becomes...
You could literally just change the build.
like you're playing Kingdom Hearts 3. Mash the button, do another ability. Mash the button, do another ability.
Didn't you say you would rather have Kingdom Hearts?
Mash the button. Oh, I got an ultimate. Do it. Oh, now my other elemental thing is charged. Switch over to that element. Mash the button, do an attack. Mash the button, do an attack. That's the entire game. I wish I was joking.
Not my fault you pressed Stinger the whole game.
I beat entire bosses not looking at the screen.
Okay, good for you. I get it.
I was talking to chat and I was saying, guys, I'm just...
Yeah, because you were using the shit. Aren't there like some attacks in this game that actually freezes all the enemies on screen? I think one of Bahamut's little laser beam does that. So like,
the screen. Through. I beat entire bosses.
like, yeah, of course you would be able to.
The screen.
Oh, also, on a related note, he did not use any of the assist rings. So you'll see above Clive's health, there are these little boxes. For some reason, the game always displays that those are things you can do, but they're grayed out. They're not actually active. So, there's that. He did not have, like, Torgal's auto-attacking ring. He didn't have the combo simplifier or anything like that equipped. Okay, you know, we're at least getting that out of the way.
Talking to chat, and I say, guys, I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna talk.
Odin is the Virgil build, though, so that makes sense why it does
game
that.
Like that. And I didn't play it on easy.
You made it easy mode. That's like when people are like, I need Dark Souls to be easier. Well, I don't know, play a mage. Oh my god, the game's so easy. Why don't you just change the build?
It's the easiest, most dumbed down, really simple mode. It's like Final Fantasy for play school.
No, don't you do the Mystic Quest. Don't you fucking do the Mystic Quest.
This is the Dublo blocks Final Fantasy.
Duplo, Phil.
But then you got, what are the Dublo blocks? This is
Dublo.
Dublo blocks Final Fantasy.
Let's build them Dublo blocks, brother.
Adult Game of Thrones Final Fantasy. You combine the
it fucking isn't.
Gameplay with the adult content.
So, does that make it more like a walking sim? So then what's the problem then? You got to watch more cutscenes, right? Right.
How does that make any sense? It makes no sense at all. It's dumb. You combine the dumbest, easiest gameplay with the adult content. How does that make any sense? It makes no sense at all. It's dumbfoundingly stupid. There's also tons of problems with the pacing of the game.
Yes. For better and for worse, this game has 14 story pacing issues. But, the merits of that is slow burns. You know? Not for everyone, for sure. And it felt like a work grind for me most of the time. Like, that I had to do side quests. You know? Intense plot, literal hours of small talk. Intense plot, literal hours of small talk. You know that, like, triangle graph from, the God of War devs when they made the game for Phil? Like, you feel those peaks and valleys, man. But, like, again, it has its merits.
Okay? As you are playing this game,
it ain't perfect, but it has its merits.
It's clear that it's not streamlined in any way because they want to extend the length of the game.
You can just skip the side quests, which you did.
The actual story of Final Fantasy XVI is not that bad. The problem is the story of Final Fantasy XVI is only about 20 hours long, but the game is around 40 to 50 hours long. So you might say, well, I don't understand. Why is the game so long? Because the game has insane amounts of padding. There's pointless upon pointless upon pointless side mission that opens up, and if you do it, you'll get a menial reward that you...
Oh, there, right there. There's the Bahamut attack that freezes the screen. Oh, the game's so fucking easy! Oh, gee, I wonder why.
A menial reward that you don't need and doesn't add anything to the gameplay experience. There's fetch quests, there's kill a bunch of generic enemies quests, everything that you've seen in traditional RPGs. The problem is this isn't a traditional RPG. It's a button masher. So because it's a button masher, none of it's fun to do. It's not relaxing, it's not chill, it's just...
But if it's easy, how is it not relaxing?
boring. Geez, the problem is this isn't a traditional RPG. It's a button masher. So because it's a...
Sorry, my brain just broke. Again.
It's a button masher. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go play
The refined button mashing and menus.
fun to do. It's not relaxing, it's not chill, it's just boring.
Yeah, it's...
In addition...
Yeah, like, there are a lot of boring quests in 16, but for the most part, they do build on each other. They ramp up, which, you know, I think that's kind of nice. Could still be better, but, like...
in the midst of some crazy fun story missions, and then
Yeah, here's the 14 pacing problems.
You can't continue with the story until you do these 2 manual missions that are required. They're mandatory. Go collect some items. Go do a bunch of generic
You can just...
characters for 3 hours.
You can skip
Now,
cutscenes.
Go, you know, kill some enemies in the environment. It completely destroys any momentum the game has.
Yes, this is one of the
Not only
fair
is the
points he
story
has.
Short and too short-lived. It's too cringy because they tried too hard to be
Nice.
for this game. Then if you even want
Nice
to
face
keep
tank.
going with the story, you're not allowed to. You hit roadblocks of boring padded content that make the game not fun to continuously play. It feels like a chore to get through Final Fantasy 16.
I actually don't disagree with
That's
him
not a
there.
good thing. You should want to continue to play. Instead, you want to go to sleep half the time. And then you gotta fight, and every time you fight, like, here we go again. Press the button, super simple. It is so disappointing, because if you watch this, you might think this is, wow, look at that combat, right? That's complex. Look at those graphics.
No, you have a pretty stupid build.
It's just not enjoyable. It's seriously not fun. I wish it were. I wish I could tell you this game was a huge improvement. What I can tell you is that Final Fantasy 16 is a complete game. It is not
It is a complete game. Brilliant.
like 15 was, okay? That I can wholeheartedly tell you. If you were looking for a completed experience, this is it. Does it have content? It does. Problem is, to get through the good content, you have to play a bunch of boring, grindy crap content. That's not good. That's not a good look. That's not a good balance. The pacing is so atrocious.
For me, I feel it's worth it. So, you know, whatever, Phil.
Multiple times during the playthrough, that, wow, I'm not even kidding you. My streams are around 3 to 4 hours long of gameplay. Multiple times during the playthrough, we would have a 3-hour boredom stream. We're like,
Real-time action, more about pressing fast to do. Yeah, there you go, yeah. What is the meaning behind the button presses? It's planning ahead or planning in the moment, you know? Which, I don't want ARPG, like, ARPGs is kind of like how I get into RPGs at all, but I don't want that to, like, completely dissolve turn-based. Like, you know, I want to make sure that's clear. Like, yeah,
like we would just, what do we got?
You know, turn-based is still has its merits, man.
Before we get back to the story, Dan, let's shoot the shit. Let's talk about this topic. Let's just make fun of the game today. We had entire streams. All we did was make fun of the game
Gee, I wonder why you thought the story was shit.
because there was nothing else to do.
Because you were disengaged.
So, and the funny part about all this is, there's people.
Yeah, just wait for it to release on PC. Definitely don't buy a PS5 just for this game. Not really worth it that much, honestly.
Out there absolutely swear this is like game of the
It's a
year.
really good game, but
Now, at the end of the year, did it win any major abs? So, and the funny part about all this is, there's people who out there absolutely swear this is like game of the year.
disagree, but whatever.
Now, at the end of the year, did it win any major awards? No. Did it really get major praise from the media or the Game Awards? No. But it's game of the year, in my opinion. Like, what
Yes, in their
do
opinion.
you like about this media or the Game Awards? No. But it's game of the year, in my opinion. Like, what did you like about this game in particular?
I liked actually playing the game, honestly.
but it's game of the year, in my opinion. Like, what did you like about this game particularly? I can't hear a single person who actually has said to me exactly what it is that's so good about this game that it should be
Hey, Phil, why don't you come look at my chat, Phil? Come chat with me. I'll tell you.
game of the year.
I'll tell you what I liked.
Oh, the Eidolon fights, right? Whatever they're called, where you're controlling the
Icons.
giant creatures in this game. They used to be the summon monsters in previous Final Fantasies. In this game, they're called something different. So it's like, you know, it's Shiva versus Ifrit, and you're button mashing, and giant kaiju style fights are going down. That's all well and good, and they're fun. Don't get me
Yeah, I loved those kaiju fights.
Icons in this one, I'm told. Not Eidolons, icons. See, I even forgot the name of that because, again, it's so not memorable. I can tell you, yeah, a few of those fights were fun, but they're too few and far between, and they're not even the whole...
Cutscene hell is pretty abundant in this game. I would have liked a little more as well. I will agree with that.
The game. You should be caring about the characters. You should be caring...
That isn't just like the stylish point system optional mode they have, just like more in the story.
Even the whole idea of the focus of the game. You should be caring about the characters. You should be caring about...
Play the fucking game and you will.
What's gonna happen in the story? Now, when can I get to that next giant button mashing fest with a giant monster beating the shit out of a giant monster to keep me awake? Because I can't stay awake playing the rest of the game, right? That's just... It's so disappointing. After having the disappointment that was 15 being unfinished...
Oh my god, I just scanned ahead 3 minutes from now or whatever. He's still on Starfield.
15 way more than 16. 16.
Oh my god.
It's so disappointing.
Nice
After
lip.
having the disappointment that was 15 being unfinished, I mean, I actually liked 15 way more than 16. 16.
That's quite a take.
I think out of all the numbered iterations that I
I haven't played 15.
played of Final Fantasy, genuinely is my least liked. The only
Wait, doesn't 15 match even closer to Kingdom Hearts combat? Bill, I am so confused right now.
exception maybe being Final Fantasy 8, because I never replayed that one and I never finished it back in the day when it was new. I would have to play 8 again to tell you if I think it's better than this. But this, out of...
You'd be clowning all the time because that was like Spoonie's breakout game to bash.
Final Fantasies I played, I'm embarrassed. As a fan of the franchise...
Embarrassed? Yeah,
I'm embarrassed.
you should be embarrassed that you don't even want to play video games.
What they just put out, and they expected like we were supposed to love this game and say, oh, this is where the franchise is going, oh, this is great.
No, the franchise does not need to permanently become a DMC game. No.
No.
I am not jumping that far ahead. I want to see Square continue to experiment.
I want the next one to literally be completely and utterly different from 16. I don't want the same button mashing.
Oh, wow. So you mean the thing that you were saying is like bad because Square keeps reinventing the wheel. Suddenly, I really, really want it to be different from 16. Okay.
Mission structure. I don't want any big icon fights. I want it to be different. You know what? Just fucking make it Final Fantasy again. I'm sorry.
This is Final Fantasy for me, dude. 14 is my main entry into the series.
Make it Final Fantasy. You have
That's my Final Fantasy. What can I say?
for you that works, that people want. Why are you veering from that formula? Why are you trying so hard to change what people like to be
To maybe experiment and let people enjoy the universe more.
different? If you want to be different, do that. And you know what you should do? Make this game and don't call it Final Fantasy 16.
No. No. Oh. No. Oh, okay. Last time I have to hear this cringe.
Call it Clive's Epic Journey, Icon Kingdom Battle. And then everyone would...
Wow, he didn't say Iconic Legacy. He stole that. Hardcore. Change my mind.
Bad, it's just not Final Fantasy. It ruins the franchise by changing it too much and not making it feel like what people really, really want.
Deep storytelling, definitely in here, albeit maybe a slow burn in areas.
Give the people what they want, and they will like it.
Okay, well, they gave people something new, and they liked it.
I've never seen a game that's veered more from what people seem to want.
They suddenly realized there was a new pasta sauce. that was actually quite delicious next to the other pasta sauces. And I don't know if that's a direct... that might be Jim Sterling quoting someone else, but there is no perfect pasta sauce, only perfect sauces.
From a franchise, and then be like so shocked that so many people don't like it. I just
He
don't.
probably took that quote from something.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, you now know all of my disappointing games of the year, but you want to know which one's the like. So
Hang on, I blacked out again.
Don't like it. Or from what people seem to want from a franchise, and then be like so shocked that so many people don't like it. I just don't get it.
Mixed opinions on this game,
ladies and
which I think is great. I think it's kind of great this game had such mixed reception because it actually creates a conversation, man. You know?
You now know.
I gotta catch up on chat, Jesus.
All of my disappointing games of the year. But you want to know which...
Should I? Well, maybe I should. Words didn't matter, you're crapping on it. Idolins. Maybe not making fun of the game would help you connect with the characters. Quite so. Just the camera sitting on a scene about a minute too long. Yeah. They,
Stretch it out too long, dude.
Yeah, if Phil replaced You Don't Care with I Don't Care, this would be more tolerable. Maybe. Is it something that simple that's triggering? And yeah, he definitely didn't like 15. It was simple. Yeah, 15 is apparently pretty good if you get, like, the gold edition. It was a piecemeal game, unfortunately. It got better in retrospect.
Which one's the most disappointing so we can end this countdown, right? Well, alright. You have to weigh and balance a couple key factors here, alright?
Yeah. Literally, this whole night, technical aspects, 30 FPS, bugs, no innovating too much.
Enix are great game developers. Both of them know how to make great games because they've done this in the past, correct?
Okay,
Both of them have long-running franchises.
he is in Q&A at Starfield.
In 2023. Absolutely, positively stands upon the dung pile. The king of shit for 2023. The absolute
Skipping
biggest
ahead a bit there.
the worst one of the bunch. And I've made my decision. Ladies and gentlemen, the absolute most disappointing game of the year is Hogwarts Legacy. I'm just kidding. The absolutely worst game of the year is, for me, Starfield. Why?
I guessed it. Did I
the
guess
start
it?
of something new. So now, when they're developing other
Yeah,
games...
I guess number one. I am
A
smart.
whole new lie from Todd Howard. You know what they say?
Todd
Fool me
lied.
once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 77 times.
No problem, Dune.
Okay?
Hope you enjoyed this
I'm gonna be honest with you guys.
hallucinogenic
Bethesda
experience.
has lost their way. I feel like the game devs at Bethesda that used to be in charge of making creative games that were unique and fun don't work at Bethesda anymore, or they've taped their mouths up, tied their hands behind their back, and they got them locked up in the broom closet. Because this game is everything wrong with modern Bethesda. Lack of innovation, lack of creativity, lack of vision.
Innovation.
Polishing the game before they release it.
Polish.
Under-delivering.
Overpromise,
The
under-deliver.
elements that are in the game suck ass. It's just...
My soul has left my body. We're having to listen to Starfield twice in a row, which is why you should not be doing this system that Phil does, where it's like, well, I'm gonna count down, I'm gonna do a face-off between these last two games. I'm not gonna tell you who's number one yet. Who could it be? And then you just end up repeating yourself.
The best way that I can describe why this game is disappointing is the following. This is a statement that I made many times over the course of 2023. When you think of the Elder Scrolls, okay, what do you think of? What are the iconic things about the Elder Scrolls universe? First thing that comes to mind, oh man, well let's see. You got dark elves, you got the ogres, you've got...
Dark elves, bro, that's just a D&D trope. What the fuck are you talking about?
medieval combat, dragons flying in Skyrim, you get the iconic villages, right? I mean, we could keep going. There's a
Iconic, iconic.
Right, that are very iconic about the adoring fan, sure. We can keep going. You know, the skooma, holy crap, skooma, that's a running theme, right? We could sit here for like an hour and just come up with all the iconic, awesome things that came out from the Elder Scrolls franchise that are memeable, that are part of pop culture now. Gaming pop culture, that is, correct? Okay, great.
Here, I'll slow him down a little bit.
Fallout, the other major first-person RPG franchise from Bethesda. What's iconic about Fallout? Oh my god, you got the Vaults, you got Vault Boy, you got New...
It is a post-apocalypse as envisioned in the 50s?
Coca-Cola, you got the bottle caps, right?
What?
You got the ghouls and the glow.
Sorry.
You got the freaking
Literally not as innovative as he's saying.
Factions that are going at it, right? We can talk about these things forever. People are still going on about Elder Scrolls Tunnel Snakes, Sweet Rolls, Khajiit, everything. We can talk about this forever, right?
The Khajiit are just bad people.
And we have a fun night just discussing all the amazing things out of Bethesda that they've done over the years in those two franchises alone. Now, I want you to completely forget about Elder Scrolls and Fallout, and I want you to say
Sounds
name
good.
all the iconic things out of Starfield right now.
I didn't give a shit about Starfield. I don't know, Phil.
Endless trash!
The food cube things.
Oh my god! Wow!
Better take a sip.
Well, you're in space. That's not the same. You understand? Like, when you really think about it, there's nothing at all iconic, original, fun, or noteworthy about Starfield. That's the problem with Starfield. When you're making a new IP and you're a game development company known for making these innovative, unique, memorable experiences...
It's a Bethesda game, bro.
You put out Starfield, claiming it's your big new IP, obviously things have gone awry. This is the most uninspired, boring game. You can literally never play it and not miss anything. You can play through the whole game and feel like you wasted your time playing it. There's no reason to play Starfield. If you've played Elder Scrolls, if you've played Fallout, go play your favorite Elder Scrolls or Fallout.
Yeah, I'm losing my patience, dude.
You are not going to give them the benefit of the doubt and trust them. I think this game sold solely on pre-orders and things.
I think Bethesda's gonna die because of one really bad game.
Trusting.
How many billions of dollars are they?
Do the right thing with this franchise based on what they'd already Fallout and Elder Scrolls Go. Did they work on this game? I'm curious because I don't understand how the game came out this way. If they did, it literally feels like they just copied everything from the past. And you know what? Here's another really good way to describe this game.
Yeah, it's a Bethesda game.
Imagine that you have an amazing work of art, right? Let's say I don't know,
not a food metaphor.
Everyone knows the Mona Lisa painting. Debatable.
Okay.
Pretty, but you have the Mona Lisa painting, right? So you have the original. You're staring at it.
Yeah.
It's a work of art. So now you go to a photocopier and you put it down flat and you make a copy of it. And you hang the original up, and now you take the photocopy and you put it down and you make a photocopy of the copy. And you take the next copy and you make a copy of that copy. And you make a copy of the copy and the copy of the copy 20, 30 times. By the time that you're done making a copy of a copy 30 times, that copy comes out and it looks like a jumbled, blurry mess. It doesn't look anything like the original Mona Lisa at all. That's Starfield. It's the same rehashed systems.
And you... Well, he played it on Game Pass, so I guess he didn't buy it.
The same factions, the same questing, the same first-person gameplay. It's all the stuff you've already done.
Yeah, it took memes.
Time, and it doesn't feel fun or unique.
Where's your memes?
It feels like a waste of your time just to go through and say you played a video game. That's the problem with Starfield.
Yeah,
okay?
Disappointing is a weasel word for sure, Frosty.
Don't fix it. That's the Bethesda way. Well,
yeah.
You can only do the same thing as much ad nauseum over and over until you just stop.
Why do you keep playing COD every year, Phil?
I have fun with Starfield. I started at first with this hopefulness that it was going to be original and different. And once I got about halfway into the game, I realized nothing about.
Oh shit! He bought Starfielder.
Story, and when I did, and I got.
Wait, he had more than one game that he bought early to not play early, like he did with Mortal Kombat.
That's the
fucking hilarious.
That's
I didn't remember that.
Believe what they did with this game and how badly executed it was. So for me,
yeah, why isn't COD on the list?
By a long shot, this is the most disappointing game of 2023. All right. So ladies,
yawn.
Let's hope for the best. Let's hope that in the future, Bethesda will come out with a better game, and let's also hope for Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah, you know, I am so fucking mad at this company. They made bad product. I can't wait for next product.
That Square Enix has learned from this experience and will kind of go back to more of its roots and not pump out.
Oh my god.
Just to change it for the sake of changing it. It sure would be great, wouldn't it? Now.
No, you would hate if they did a traditional turn-based Final Fantasy, because then it's not innovating. They're playing it too safe. There is no pleasing you.
Your takes.
Or a lot of Final Fantasy fans who act like
comments on
this.
this video. Do you agree with my takes? Do you not? What games did you find disappointing that maybe I left out of my countdown? Or are there any games that I just listed that you're staunchly against being listed in the disappointing games? Tell me why.
Yeah, there's that too. He thought it was going to be GOTY.
In the description of this, or in the comments of this video, that's what it's all about. All right, I'm open to listening to other people's opinions and have them maybe change mine or influence mine. But at the same time,
they're not. They're
I've been
not.
doing this for 15 years. That was a really disappointing year for some of these games. I couldn't believe that they came out in that state and were that bad. And I'm sorry that we can't have more good games. The good news is there are great games, and we will talk about that in a separate video.
Okay, I have a ton of skip juice for Q&A.
Saying thank you for watching. the most disappointing games of 2023 countdown here on DSP Gaming. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next year when we'll wrap it
But
all
dude,
up.
only 50
Peace out,
bucks.
sit, and I'll see you all later.
Fucking deserve that, dude.
So guys, I wanted to end the video because the video is 90 minutes, and the longer the video goes, the harder it is for YouTube to process and the like. I could still hang out with you guys for a few minutes if you want to talk. I'm totally okay with that. In fact, let me
Shoot.
let me switch
Hurry
to
up,
my
Phil.
setup
I need to
here,
get to bed.
of which these pop-ups are still continuing. Those 200 gifted memberships are still going and haven't exhausted themselves yet, which is pretty insane. I told you, it's going to be going all night at this rate. 200 gifted memberships. Wow. Thank you so much, Nikita. Thank you to everyone else who
Bought the upgrade for Deluxe Edition.
Okay.
Play early, but
So-
not the base game.
What do you guys think?
But what?
Did you agree? Did
Oh,
you
no.
disagree? What's your feelings on everything? Orange says the top.
Phil,
By
no.
the way, shout out to Warm Cactus. Warm Cactus became a member tonight as well when I was in the midst of the final top 2 there. Box Gaming says solid picks. I did put actually Diablo that. It was not my intention to have any bros in disarray tonight, but I gotta be honest about my feelings. 672 says you described Starfield perfect for once. Me and my new Bethesda game high wore off. I found no reason to ever play it again because I was so good. Exactly right. I was the same way when I first started playing.
Dark side pig roach the snuck in like a Baxter.
Well, heck, thank you for joining the viewing experience, Darkside Pig Roach.
Perfect.
Starfield. Those first 3, 4, 5
Yeah,
streams.
this has been a stream that exists.
New thing. And I was like, okay, let me explain.
Hope you enjoyed it.
First time.
I don't know how I feel.
My game crashes, and I gotta do the whole thing over. People everywhere. You know, like,
Right.
everything stacked up to be a big pile of dog shit. By the end of the day, it's just not fun to play anymore.
I'm sorry that I'm speed running this last portion of it. Well, I got my 3 minutes of hate. I hope I never have to talk about Final Fantasy 16 and white knight it unintentionally. That was a good face.
Super chill. Pizza Box says great stream, like this format. Guys, when you show
I had to, I don't want to hear him review Starfield twice.
Format. Guys, when you showcasing
You know?
games tomorrow night. So basically, tonight was disappointing. Tomorrow.
Yeah, tonight was disappointing.
For the best playthroughs of the year. Top
Full
10,
stop.
And then it's gonna be my Game of the Year rewards. All right. Whenever you're talking.
Oh, we're gonna do okay. So viewer audit first, and then okay. I'll try to do some more of my silly tier maker. I have a feeling I'm not gonna be able to do everything.
Less to say, quite frankly. Like when you're doing negative,
I'll
I
have
feel
to
like you
see.
justify it a lot more. When you're doing positive, it's just like you could say what you liked about it and move right on. So it's gonna be quicker. Like tomorrow night, it's not gonna be 90 minutes to 2 hours. It's gonna be like each video will be like roughly an hour, I think. So.
Jeez.
Jade, you agreed on the top 2 and 3. I'm glad.
Never. I will never go to bed. Even though I have to.
Starfield is the human stuff. I want to see other alien races. I mean, that was another thing too.
I am done with Starfield. I am done with Starfield.
Nightman says, I personally like Tears of the Kingdom, but you made good points. Thank you.
Okay.
This is the negative. We just finished. Boxer says you don't do the worst of the year. This was pretty much it. This is the negative. We just finished the negative. Negative, you end with the positive. That's what I've learned.
Explain what we just watched for 2 hours.
I played on PS5. Yeah, if you didn't have this 2-in-1, the only game I disagree is Star Wars Jedi Survivor because I played on PS5. Yeah, great. And they didn't give it enough time, and then by the time it came out, it was just so disappointing, right? And then you can do Fantasy 16 being number 2. I'm definitely shocked and surprised by your top 10. You are, but that's exactly right. You were correct.
Quality
Did it just end? People are saying the 200 memberships just ended. You're right, because that's Thunderlips. So you're gonna get Thunder.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Gabriel.
Guys, I need more memberships.
Well,
The train just ended.
Gabriel, I have no idea. Maybe someday, because icon fights were just like that. I don't see it in the near future. Like you said, they are on Game Pass as upgraded games, so maybe, but I don't see it either. It really is. Will there be new emotes? I have absolutely, positively no idea if we've unlocked any new emote slots.
Okay.
Or is it customized default?
Nobody cares about your lists. They want emotes.
And then I can design and have a new one for 4 years, the year after. Emoji.
Yeah, more members tomorrow. Let's go.
We still need...
Let's get closer to the Twitch days.
21? 31? No. 127 more members needed to unlock a new emoji.
Intense.
127 more on top of what we have. So we
got the number.
It's going by 200 now. So we hit 1,000. That was the last.
Walter gave us the number he
The
needs.
next milestone would be 1,200. So no,
And then he'll tap out
no,
for sure.
You can't unlock one until we hit 1,200 members. 1,200 members is the next milestone. But there is a 4-year badge that I can do. Of course, no one will hit that till next year.
Guys, hurry, please.
I can look to do that.
Has an excuse to beg for more members. I love it.
That's how YouTube works. They really make you
That
hit
is
ginormous milestones with
beautiful.
emojis, right? Mark says, I bought Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom in Adelaide Airport on the way to Japan. I'll play it one day. I never played a Zelda game. How do you that's correct. Still ran like shit. So it was like, how long am I going to delay this playthrough if I'm ever going to finish the game? And I just...
Playthrough.
A 4-year member. We could probably do that.
We're just reading memberships, man. I hate this.
Big Mac. Just did a super chat.
Still going.
Really good. Bravo, your take on how a news anchor tried to talk down about the Tetris kid. Well, thank you.
God, I don't... God, Tetris kid. Man, I feel bad for him. But it's like, it is like a 2-second conversation about that news lady. Dumb bitch. Alright, we're done with the story.
Glad that you enjoyed it. And,
the news anchor lady was being a dumb bitch.
I don't have a lot of tolerance for, and talk to their own audiences, bullying. Bullied a lot by some fucking middle-aged woman who's probably a because I played it in arcades.
Oh my god, I wasn't... Jeez, help! Bill, I was not asking for your history with Tetris.
Anyway, we're about to adjourn, guys. Probably just like a couple more minutes. So last thing, anyone has something to say? Any last-minute contribution, get it done now, because I got to work on tomorrow's.
Sounds great.
Queued up in there, okay? Reminder, tomorrow, Resident Evil 0 Remake on the first stream. And I don't know how 2023. And then following that, Mike also reminder, special stream Wednesday night. Special late-night mystery stream.
I guess I'll pop in at some point on my Twitch, because I'm trying out the DMC mobile game, but I do not have any expectations here. Maybe it's the LED screen. Maybe it's something else for the throwback channel.
That's all I'm saying, because I really don't want
Cat or GTFO, dude.
Stream, but Wednesday night, very special stream right here on DSP Gaming, same time and place as this one. So I hope you'll be here Wednesday night if you can make it. If not, I'll upload it after the fact.
There were people defending her. Maybe they were trying to push his buttons. Bill's buttons.
DC has a haiku. Great game, of course he does. Jasper, I'll upload it after.
Oh, fucking hell.
Jasper Kitty wants another stray game. Of course he does. Jasper Kitty wants more kitty games. There's not enough. There's just not enough kitty games at all.
DC, oh, I thought there was something about Derek.
Care about. You're welcome, 672. Thank you for coming by and being a viewer and fan.
He's still going.
I will say this, for those of you who either came from detractor content or came from another YouTuber and checked my out, I appreciate you giving me a chance. There's so much stuff out there about me that's negative, and those who over the years come and give my content a chance, I really appreciate that, because it's so easy to just pile around negative memes and stuff. But so many of you have come by over the years as a result of seeing me somewhere else, or hearing about me from somewhere else, and then coming and giving me a shot, and now you like the content, and that's nice to hear and know. So thank you for that. Cool. Alright, absolute last chance before I wrap it up, guys. Gaia with a haiku says, terrible games played, enduring year-end worst reveal. Enduring year-end worst one. Waiting for someone playing Sea of Stars, he found me, and now here he's watching the content. Not usually.
Okay, been a fan since 1950 whatever.
Oh, my name was supposed to be part of the haiku? Oh, hold on.
1651. Okay.
Like a Dragon Infinite, well,
haiku.
Absolutely 100% yes. Full play.
Interested in the future of games.
Your Super Baldur's Gate 3 was showing the other day on tags for the game. That's crazy. Again, that's changing.
I'm hitting the algorithm.
You see, you find me through the Mario Wonder playthrough. Awesome. This is great to hear that people are finding DSP game haiku. Terrible.
That's a lot of socks OIC is switching between haiku.
Guys, I do gotta get out of here. Thank you for chilling. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. Nikita, if you're out there.
Oh my god, we did it.
200 members.
I guess.
New record. I've never had that many on the channel. People ask for 1,200. That's when I unlock a new emote for the slot for the channel. But I'm very appreciative of hitting a new record tonight. Obviously, I wasn't expecting that at all. Guys, I'm out. I'm going to film the daily wrap. I'm going to set up for tomorrow. Tomorrow, the agenda is the Level 1 podcast, Resident Evil.
Oh my god, I get it, Phil. Go away.
Had a ton of fun. I hope you...
Yeah, take your 52 bucks.
Have a good evening. I'll see you all tomorrow for another fun full day of streaming. Peace out, everybody. Bye-bye.
Oh, this was boring. All right, cool. Then I come back here tomorrow, an hour before Phil streams. I'll try to do some more ranking stuff. Do more of this! How exciting. More! I have a lot of games. I've got the main ones, like, in order, and then it's like, whatever's left over. Whatever, man. I guess I can do more of this tomorrow. I got major stage fright when I was doing this. But yeah, I need to skedaddle. So, see you tomorrow, I guess. Same time, and, yeah. Hope you enjoyed, because I don't know how I feel. Shoot, I was gonna type in some emotes that... It's on the Twitch channel, damn it. All right, well, have a nice night then. Phil clocked out. We should be clocking out too. So take it easy. And yeah, all that stuff.
Never show your face around me again.
Endless trash. Get on with it.
Go to hell before you die. Please.
Scum.
No! Not him!
You better take a sip, you fucking sleazy asshole.
Quality content.